Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. Allen Stiles, the Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And I know a lot of times people got a case of the Mondays. Kyle Ledbetter's always in a good mood. He never has a case of the Mondays. And I don't think anybody will have one today. If you're a Sacramento Kings fan, maybe you didn't get paid this Friday. Maybe your plans got ruined because your kid got sick. Maybe you didn't get to do what you thought you were going to be able to do. Maybe you went up to one of the casinos out there and black kept hitting and you were playing red. And it felt like your luck was down. And it felt like things just weren't working out for you. But then the Sacramento Kings, they head to the Bay Area. And they whoop on the Golden State Warriors by 30 points. They led by as many as 33. And oh, by the way, De'Aaron Fox didn't even play. Steph Curry did. Draymond Green did. But it didn't make a difference. They're sitting out there thinking this Kings team is wounded. This is big bro, lil bro. No De'Aaron Fox. I didn't even see the line, the betting line. Let's see what's going down in the Bay. Let's get back on the right side of things. And the Kings say, oh, you must not know. This is a different version of the Sacramento Kings. This is a version of the Sacramento Kings that's got a bulldog as the head coach who embodies the city, who embodies the team, who embodies the beam. That's who you're dealing with now. Yeah, y'all might have seen us on some old stuff about a week or so ago. It was all bad just a week ago. But we knew out here. And by the way, Malik Monk. Can I say this real quick about Malik Monk? We're going to get into a lot of the Malik Monk talk, whether or not he was being held back. Can I just say this? Malik Monk plays the Warriors as if he was supposed to get drafted by the Warriors. Thank you, Kyle. Malik Monk plays the Warriors as if they promised him something and then pulled the rug from under him. I don't even know if they were in that conversation. I'm pretty sure they weren't. But he has something for the Warriors every time they play each other. Going back to those playoffs, the Warriors have nightmares of Malik Monk. Malik Monk did something that only LeBron James has done. That's right, only LeBron James. So we're going to break all of that down. As we get to the whole team, and where the Kings currently are. The Sacramento Kings have leaped past the Phoenix Suns. It's from Matt George, by the way. Phoenix Suns in the West standings and now sit at 11. They are 1 game back of the Timberwolves in the 10th spot, the final playing spot. 1.5 games back of the Spurs and the Warriors. Right now, they're going to play the Warriors again in a couple days. They could get that tiebreaker in the 8th and 9th spot. They're 3.5 games back of the 5th through 7th seed Lakers, Mavs, Clippers. 46 games to go. You see what happens when you just do your job, Sacramento Kings? We ain't asking for too much. Honestly, if you had lost that Warriors game, I said this is a huge deal. Look, out there in the Bay, they can say it's not a rivalry. Well, if it's not a rivalry, why do you get so upset whenever Lil Allen Stiles calls it a rivalry? You know how many people be in my mentions every time I say it's a rivalry? It's not a rivalry, y'all little bro, blah, blah, blah. Then keep scrolling, brother. Keep scrolling and keep losing. You didn't have Klay Thompson, not that he helped you last time, throwing up a donut. The Kings didn't even have De'Aaron Fox, and you got your doors blown off. So maybe it's not a rivalry because you actually have to win some games. Okay, now I'm just being
you're right. You're
now I'm just having a little too much fun, Kyle.
We ended the Warriors, the the in-season tournament last year. Malik Monk bank shot in our own building to beat him.
Yep.
Beating him by 30 tonight. Klay Thompson scored 0 points in his last game as a Warrior. I mean, come on. The Warriors don't have anything against the Sacramento Kings, those bums.
Keon Ellis, okay? I would never say he has Steph Curry's number, but Keon Ellis makes life very hard for Steph Curry. Ellis Island is not beautiful this time of year if you are Steph Curry. You got Keon Ellis, you got Devin Carter. We're going to talk about Devin Carter, whether or not he should be untouchable. Devin Carter is doing his thing. You talk about, I know they said he was a rebounding guard, but I didn't expect this. I mean, that man is fighting on the glass. Sabonis might have to tell him to chill a little bit, messing up his rebounding numbers. That's how ridiculous Devin Carter is on the boards. So the Kings now are in a position where they have gone 4-0. Okay, let me give you a list of the head coaches for the Sacramento Kings that have gone 4-1 in their Sacramento Kings coaching career to start their career. It's Doug Christie. That's the end of the list. Doug Christie is the only one to go 4-1 to start the Kings coaching career.
Thank you, Jason Ross, for that stat.
Thank you, Jason Ross, for that stat. I caught that on the old Twitter. Thank you very much, Jason. The easy question is this or was this the best win of the year? And I think the answer is yes. It might not even be close, to be completely honest with you. The way they did it, what was it, Kyle? Sometime in the third, the Warriors tried to make a run. And honestly, again, I don't like beating down on someone when we've moved on. But the problem is, based on the timing, Mike Brown still would have been the coach. That was a specific time frame in the game where I felt like, okay, the Kings that we know, even though they have played well against the Warriors, even when Mike Brown was the coach, the Kings that we had seen in the Bay, no De'Aaron Fox. We saw a lot of this last season when there was no Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, and it was only De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. The Kings would start out really hot from their role players. Davion Mitchell making some threes, Keon Ellis making some threes. And then when they fall back to earth or come back to reality, you see the other team not lose their cool, and the Kings eventually blow it in the second half where things go cold. So we've seen something like this before, but last night the Kings didn't lose their cool. They were in control the whole time. You got Steve Kerr out here cry. I mean, it was embarrassing. Can I say that? And I've interviewed Steve Kerr for my time in the Bay. I got love for Steve Kerr. But Steve Kerr, and I don't even really blame him, he is looking for something to spark his team. And I know they didn't have Jonathan Kuminga, even though we have no clue what Jonathan Kuminga's value is. The Warriors don't even know. They don't want to move Kuminga. They don't want to move Andrew Wiggins. They don't know what they want to do. They are the person that they just, should we move in together? Should we get married? They just don't know.
It's Steph Curry and a bunch of Jags, and that's how we like it.
That's exactly what it is. Draymond shooting threes again, cool, whatever. But Steve Kerr gets teed up on a blind side, and I don't even know if it was dirty from Draymond, but a blind side screen. So Keon has eyes in the back. When you flop, you see something coming, and then you flop. You can't flop if you didn't even see the play. So Keon gets a blind. It was fine. It was a fine screen, whatever. I think Draymond gave a little extra mustard, but that's what he does. So Keon gets a blindside screen, falls on the ground, and Steve Kerr, it almost looked like, after the game, I watched the Golden Globes, and there were a bunch of movies that I never even heard of. A lot of the movies aren't even out yet.
That was yesterday?
They were on yesterday. And it felt like this was a Golden Globes performance from Steve Kerr. He's out there yelling and screaming, doing the flopping motion, wanting Keon to get the flopping call or to get fined, as if Keon is this historical flopper. I would never say I feel bad for those guys because they had the parades, they had some fun, and Warrior fans will remind you about that. They'll be on their Klay Thompson throwing up the four as if they were on the court. Relax, okay? Your jump shot is trash. Relax. I played you at the Y. Relax. But Steve Kerr was just looking for answers. And the Kings were just there, cool as a cucumber. Malik Monk, every time it was the opposite of what we've seen. Every time the Warriors tried to make a move or tried to make a run, the Kings shut it down. Malik Monk would shut it down. Domantas Sabonis. Y'all want to keep talking trash about Domantas Sabonis? Okay, bet. Domantas Sabonis is still going to continue to bust your you-know-what. You tried to start Trace Jackson Davis. I don't actually know one thing Trace Jackson Davis does well.
Oh my God, he was so bad. I'm so used to like all these centers bodying Sabonis down low and forcing, the tough shot. Last night reminded me just how strong Sabonis is, because when he goes up against a tall man center and not a big man center, oh my God, he just destroyed Trace Jackson Davis.
So it was everything that we've been wanting from the Kings on display. They came out hot. They didn't let up. They didn't get complacent. They didn't lose their cool. Doug Christie's the one who had to get walked off the court from Domas. He got the smelling salts going before the game. I mean, this is a completely different team. So now we have to ask the question, and you know how we get down on the Allen Stiles Show. It's not all going to be optimistic. It's not all going to be pessimistic. We are going to look at everything. So at some point, we will have the conversation of whether or not this is a mirage. How much of this can we believe? How much of this is maybe just a lot of the energy, the initial energy shift from the new coach? How much of this is real? Talk about the Golden Globes, the CGI. How much of it is CGI or AI?
It doesn't really matter.
It does matter, De'Aaron.
It doesn't really matter.
It didn't matter that you didn't play in a good way.
It doesn't really matter.
In a good way, De'Aaron. Kings get the W. They were up by as much as 33 points, a shellacking, a beatdown, a whooping. Back in the day, go get the switch. The Kings got the switch on the Warriors. Go get that switch. You've been misbehaving.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Nintendo.
Stop it, Kyle. Take their ass back to Golden State. I don't even care. Take their ass back to Golden State. I don't care that they were home. Send their ass back. 4 hours with you. We talk about the Kings record. We talk about the Warriors going out sad, fans switching jerseys. The Kings under Doug Christie, what are you seeing that's different? Is a move still necessary? Devin Carter's debut, let's not forget that game where Devin Carter did his thing against the Grizzlies. Is this real? Was Malik Monk being held back? And, of course, we preview the Miami Heat. Also, we have a little bit of NFL for you towards the end of the show as a couple coaches are waking up with no job. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush. Makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
I joined the military for my kid and his mom. I miss my son a lot. One of the things with the military is tobacco. But I saw a lot of people try to deal with mental issues. Everyone's vaping constantly. After my first hit of a vape, I was hooked like that. Once I got back home from my deployment, I caught my son trying to hit my vape. That was it. I had to quit.
Californians are beating big tobacco. You can too. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
I've been on a weird G-Unit hype lately. I know Kyle probably doesn't even know who those guys are, but Kyle, it was the group that 50 Cent was in.
I know that much about hip-hop.
It was the group that 50 Cent was in.
I know that
Kyle?
I wasn't born when they were together.
With Young Buck, Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and...
I know who at least 3 of those people are.
Good. And Lloyd Banks, I was driving in, get ready for the show this morning, and I just had to throw on some On Fire by Lloyd Banks, because that's exactly what the Kings are right now. They're on fire. And this is what we heard. and this was going around social media in the Bay, in your home. You put your shoes on someone else's couch last night. That's what the Kings did, and this is what it sounded like. You got light the beam chants. You got booze mixing in as well.
Oh, my God. It was so great. You could hear it on the broadcast, too. It was the third quarter. In the third quarter, they're hitting light the beam chants.
Embarrassing stuff. And, we're not going to dance on graves too much because the Kings do have the Warriors again within these next couple games here.
I don't know. I think we should. I think we should keep dancing.
Honestly, if that doesn't make the Warriors feel like they need to make a move, I don't know what will. But enough about those bums. Like I said, we'll see them. We'll see them again in a couple weeks or so. The Sacramento Kings 4-1, and everybody was talking about who the Kings beat, right, to get to this 4-1. And we on this show talked about the fact that they beat teams that they were supposed to beat, but also they were missing some pieces. Okay, so we know the Mavericks was honestly the most egregious one, because if you look at the other teams that the Kings did beat, again, you beat the 76ers and you did not have Keegan Murray, all right? They didn't have Joel Embiid, but you didn't have Keegan Murray. And that was a close game. I'm not going to call that a wash. I'm not comparing Joel Embiid to Keegan Murray, but it is a very important piece. That's a starter that's missing.
They were getting beat up until the last 4 minutes.
Right. I mean, Paul George is getting paid how many million? And Tyrese Maxey, one of the hottest young up-and-coming guards. So I wouldn't sneeze on that at all. And the 76ers have been playing well. So
better. They're still bad. But
I mean, the stretch that they were on, they were playing well.
Yes.
As far as the season is concerned, no. Then you have the Grizzlies, where Kyle read off those numbers on Friday. The Grizzlies, top 5 in efficiency, offensive rating, defensive rating, without Ja Morant. Now, they were missing more than Ja Morant, but they had a Zach Edey. They had Desmond Bane. They had Jaren Jackson Jr. And again, no Keegan Murray for the Kings. So to me, I understand why haters going to hate, and they're going to sit there and say, because that's all we heard on Friday. That's all we heard on Friday. Oh, well, you beat this team and you beat a bunch of hurt teams, but now I just hear crickets now. Now it's just silent. I don't hear anybody. My mentions are quiet. They're silent. Silent night. I know Christmas is over, but it's a silent night last night. Nobody had anything to say about the Sacramento Kings. But you know who was talking? The Kings were talking. Kings fans were talking, and they deserve to talk. Because one thing we do like to illustrate on this show is that life is short. We say it every time the Kings go on a good run. So we are able, I believe that my listeners are intelligent enough and have enough fan IQ, basketball IQ to understand that this team still needs to be better, still needs to get better. I don't know if that's a trade. I don't know if that's just continuing to play at this level. But you can also enjoy the wins. You can also enjoy the Kings being on a 4-game winning streak with an opportunity to go to 5. Now, we're going to talk about this trap game because that's exactly what it is. And if you remember, the Heat beat the Kings in Golden 1 last season with no Jimmy Butler. And I believe Tyler Hero didn't play either.
I think the stat is since Miami was a team, the Kings have only beat them 8 or 9 times, ever.
Now, the last time the Kings played the Heat this season in Miami, that was when the Kings were losing at halftime, okay? And they had that was the first of about 15 team meetings they've had to have throughout the course of this season. They had that mini team meeting, said, we're not going to let it happen. And they came out second half, they win that basketball game.
Sabonis tip-in at the end.
The Sabonis tip-in at the end. So plenty of history to go around here. And they said it on the morning show. I can't remember if it was Dave or Jason, but I thought it was really well said. Yes, this could be a trap game, but the Kings are in such a hole. I don't know that they can afford to think that they are in a position to have a trap game. They're still crawling their way out. They're still trying to get back to the 10 seed. So it's possible they could start feeling themselves. We're on a 4-game winning streak. No Jimmy Butler. But the way Doug Christie coaches this team, we're going to hear from him. We have his full post game, about 6 minutes. So we got that for you coming up. The way that he coaches this team, the way that the team is playing right now, it's hungry. I honestly wouldn't worry about, not to say it won't happen, but I'm not personally worried about a letdown game until they get back into the play-in, the playoffs to play in. That's when I would be worried. That's when I would feel like, okay, these guys might take their foot off the gas because they feel like they've arrived. Now, I know it sounds insane to say that you've arrived in the 9-10 seed, but we've seen this with the Kings before. We haven't seen this with Doug Christie's Kings before, but we've seen this with the Kings before.
Getting to host a play-in game would be a tremendous success given where the Kings were, 5 games ago, basically?
Yeah.
So that would be a tremendous success. Also, some other things are falling their way. Phoenix Suns are completely falling apart.
They are.
We saw the Golden State Warriors. They're terrible, and I don't think a Cam Johnson trade is going to save their season. They really stink. So the Warriors are falling. The Suns just benched Bradley Beal this morning. Things are breaking the Kings' way.
Yeah, as far as the Cam Johnson conversation, we've said on this show, I didn't know if the Kings were a Cam Johnson away. Now, of course, it does feel like they're a Cam Johnson away, just from what we originally talked about and getting to the second round, not from championship contention. Now, if we were to ask the question about the Warriors, I don't know if the Warriors are a Cam Johnson away. Because again, you don't just add these guys, right? You're going to lose some of these. You're going to lose a player, a pick, whatever it is, a couple players. So I don't think now it's flipped. Okay. I don't think the Warriors are Cam Johnson away, but I think maybe the Kings are right now. And that becomes the question. This is the Monty McNair question that we go through every single year. Now that the Kings are rolling a bit, do you say, oh, well, I can't mess up the momentum. I can't do that. Or do you say, I can't fall for this mirage? And not that it's a mirage, but I have to believe that we can still be better. And the only way we get better is by improving the bench, by improving other parts of the team. So it's not to say that Monty McNair or the front office isn't enjoying what the Kings are doing. I know there was a meme when DeMar DeRozan had that reverse dunk or that up and under dunk, and everybody is going crazy, and Monty McNair is just sitting there just with a straight face. You have to understand the balance of everything. So you can feel like the Kings are moving in the right direction, but Monty has to make that decision. Because that's what I want to know. We're going to open up the phone lines after we play the Doug Christie presser. And ultimately, something like this happens. And if you were Monty McNair, do you want to mess up the mojo, or are you not convinced? And do you want to now sell high on a Trey Lyles, a Kevin Huerter? We're going to talk about Kevin Huerter, by the way. That pump fake to a one dribble step back, why doesn't he do that more often? He always does. He always pump fakes again, and then passes it out. That one dribble jump shot step back that he's been doing, he needs to do it more often. But plenty to break down here. We're going to hear from Doug Christie on the other side, his full presser. Got to make sure that one's edited because, Doug, he liked to let it fly, and that's why we love Doug. So we're going to hear from Doug Christie and then get your thoughts as we open up the phone lines. What can the Kings do, or what should they do now that they're rolling a little bit? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, Just call Gingery.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Lawrence Dubois on the Sack Chat. Shout out to the Sack Chat, growing every single day here on the Allen Stiles Show. Whether the Kings are winning or losing, so I appreciate you. You know, the Kings are, I will say this, no matter how things end, it was a much more interesting season than last season. Last season, my first season covering the team, I gotta be honest with you. It was quite boring. Quite boring. You just didn't really know what we were looking at here.
We had a stable organization back then.
Yeah, boring. Boring. But the Sack Chat Lawrence Dubois says, Styles, you need to find the kid who switched the jerseys and interview him. That is a great call, Lawrence. We're going to try to get our investigators on that and see if we can find that kid who switched the jerseys. Because I ain't even mad at him. It's just your Warrior fans, you're just not beating the allegations.
I'm already putting out sources.
You're just not beating the allegations. That's the problem, because that same kid, his pops, probably was a Kings fan in 2002, whenever it was, and then switched over to the Warriors when the Warriors started rolling. And you know, at home somewhere, they probably got a Lakers jersey in a closet too. So
why would you have one of those?
Because you just never know. These fans, the California fans, as I call them, they just rotate.
The Lakers have won have been to the playoffs twice in that
they got
kid's
the bubble.
entire lifetime.
All it takes is the bubble.
Sure, whatever. When that kid was born, LeBron James was probably already on the Lakers.
They got the bubble, man. So we are going to try to find that kid, Lawrence. That is hilarious stuff. I will say this, though. As we mentioned, the Kings 4-1 now under Doug Christie, and the whole conversation has been who the Kings beat, right? And who the Kings were able to take care of business against. And it was a lot of understaffed teams, okay? Undermanned teams, the Mavericks, the Sixers, the Grizzlies, teams like that. So we get all that. But then you go into someone's home in the Bay, rivalry game, whether Warriors fans want to admit it or not, rivalry game, and you beat the brakes off the Warriors with no De'Aaron Fox. 30 points, not 20, not 10, not 15, 30 points. So all I got to say is this, Kyle. All I got to say is this. Uh-huh.
What are they going to say now?
Thank you, Steph.
What are they going to say now?
Thank you, Steph.
What are they going to say now?
Thank you, Steph. What are they going to say now? Everybody in my mentions on Friday.
What are they going to say now?
Uh-huh. What are they going to say now?
What are they going to say now?
Nothing. But they will say.
What are they going to say now?
And now the Kings get to play the Heat without Jimmy Butler. You know what?
Say now?
You know what? Hey, you can only play who's in front of you. And the Sacramento Kings, up to this point, what's crazy is they've had opportunities like this all season long. and they've been tricking them off. So if you are an actual Sacramento Kings fan that's been following the team, you're not taking these for granted the same way somebody on the outside is, because you've seen the Kings lose these games.
Lose more home games than any team in the NBA.
You've seen the Kings lose these games. Okay, let's get to this Doug Christie sound. Kyle has boiled it down, so it's only a couple minutes here, and we have a little bit more that we want to play as we get into our Heat preview. But here's Doug Christie and his post game after the Kings send their ass back to Golden State. Here it is.
Just trying to get them to be aggressive, trust each other, and play for each other. When I look down at the stat sheet and I see 31 assists, I'm smiling. When I see 40-plus threes taken, I'm smiling. And most of those are going to be where we get in the paint, play off 2 feet under control, spray the ball out. You got it, shoot it. If you don't, give it one more drive, kick it, and continue on doing that. And those type of things, it's contagious. Everyone's touching the ball. Everyone feels good about themselves. Then we go to the other end and help each other the same way. That's not going to obviously happen every night, especially against great players like Steph. It's not. But that type of commitment, and that's why I told him, commitment to a game plan it says everything about them. It just has nothing to do with what I do. You guys committed to it. You guys held each other accountable. You guys fought for each other. You multiple effort for each other. And that's all you can ask. Will you always get this result? No, I think that's not it. But the result that you will get is continued effort, continue down the path of us to establish our identity. I thought both of them were so tired that one of them asked to come out. I'm not going to say which one of them it was, and that's the type of effort that you want. Steph is an absolute monster. He's been that in this league. He's one of the greatest that's ever done it. So you're not going to stop him, and that's not what you're trying to do. You're just trying to make it as difficult as humanly possible. And I thought both of those guys tried as hard as they possibly could. And then on the backside, everybody is helping. Everybody's in gaps and just trying to limit his touches and his threes. They did a really solid job. I'm so proud of that kid, man. Like, we've had, before I sitting in this seat, we've had multiple conversations just about everything. And I've always told him, believe in yourself. I believe in you. You are a tremendous, fantastic player, and play through your mistakes. You're going to make them. This is a game of mistakes. Who makes the least amount of mistakes usually wins the ball game. And he just is about as free as I've ever seen him, and we'll live with some of the things that he does. And his greatness will continue to shine because the kid is great.
Doug Christie, throughout that post game, he was talking about Keon Ellis and Devin Carter doing what they could do against the great Steph Curry. That last bit was about Malik Monk and how well he has played, and just watching Malik develop. Can't wait to have this conversation about Malik Monk, because somebody's going to take it too far. And they said it on the morning show. You can never just be positive, right? Somebody's going to say, well, look how good they played without De'Aaron. And I can't wait for that combo, because we don't police fanning on this show. We don't police fandom. We just let you have at it, and we will give you the phone lines if that is your take. A little bit crazy, but we like we said, we'll let you have your opinion on things. Doug Christie and the Kings finally figuring out their early game woes. Kings in the first quarter, their point differential this season, the last 2 games, plus 29. They were a plus 14 against Memphis and a plus 15 against the Warriors. The first 34 games of the season, they were a minus 49. The Kings scored 153 first half points in 2 games, 78 versus the Grizzlies and 75 versus the Warriors. Before the weekend, they hadn't scored 70 at halftime in any game all season. And one of those games, they did not have De'Aaron Fox. I mean, that's insanity.
What are they going to say now?
That's right. In addition, the Kings tied a season high 105 points through 3 quarters in the Warriors game, scored 100 through the third quarter for only the 4th and 5th times all season. And I can guarantee you the other times were probably against some lesser opponents. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say the Warriors are world beaters, but I do think they're desperate, and I do think that they fully expected to walk out of Chase Center with a W, playing a Kings team with no De'Aaron Fox. I do think that. when they need W's and not just to lose the way they lost. Because let's not forget, the Kings played the Warriors in the Bay without De'Aaron Fox last season, and it took Klay Thompson actually making a jump shot at the end of the game to win that ball game. So they always play. They've played them tough no matter what. Again, rivalry game. And I'm going to keep saying it, no matter how much it annoys Warriors fans. That's just what it is. So you had an opportunity there if you're the Warriors to beat a team, not really while it's down, but if you're the Warriors, you're sitting there thinking you're doing the same thing their hater fans that are actually Kings fans are doing as well. You're sitting there saying, okay, we know that the Kings are playing better basketball, but they beat a Mavericks team missing 4 starters. They beat a Sixers team missing Joel Embiid. They beat a Grizzlies team missing Ja Morant, Gigi Jackson, Santi Aldama, and others. And now we're going to face them without De'Aaron Fox. That has to be a W. So the most impressive thing to me is that there's no way, or maybe the most alarming thing if you're a Warriors fan, but the most impressive thing if you're a Kings fan, that the Warriors needed this game. Yeah, I know, no Jonathan Kuminga, but it doesn't matter. You had Steph Curry and you had Draymond Green. You had your guys. And the Kings did not have their guy in De'Aaron Fox. Top 25, top 30 player in the league. Jonathan Kuminga is not that. Not even close. So if you're the Warriors, you needed that game. And not only did you lose that game, they got the switch on you. They beat you down good.
What, Mario Kart?
They beat you down good. So understand that what the Kings did, and why I wouldn't say I'm worried about tonight, but when you reach the heights that the Kings reached last night, it is hard to replicate. So I am a little worried about tonight. Even without Jimmy Butler, the Kings lost to Jimmy Butler last season, and I don't even know if De'Aaron Fox is going to play or not. If he was doubtful last night, one other day, you going to rush him out tonight, or do you just let him rock? I mean, these back-to-back situations, I know the Kings need every win they can get, but the way the Kings just played last night and the Heat no Jimmy Butler, I'd probably be okay with resting him. I think that's realistic. You know for a fact, and we'll get into it during our preview. But if I'm the Sacramento Kings, I definitely think about resting one De'Aaron Fox again. That doubtful thing always kind of sketches me out. So that's where we're at right now. We see the phone lines going crazy. We're going to get to you after a quick break. Keep rocking with me, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for usages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max used for adults only.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures. But don't let 2024 slip away without savoring the memories made with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Looking forward is always exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, revolving around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson with his first bite of birthday cake was priceless and reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings during their annual New Year sale going on now, including all the fine furniture and accessories in every department. How about a new style for the new year? Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with future memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will stay with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings. Off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest return on investment homeowners can get on improvements? Jason Ross here, and let me tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, a family-owned and operated company with third-generation owners that's been in business for 71 years right here in Sacramento. With new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, you'll not only get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with a well-respected and proven company. Residential and commercial, brand new garage doors, or repairs to existing doors, they do it all. Take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors or check out the showroom with no appointment needed. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 16th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Just once a year, NorCal's largest gathering for anglers, hunters, boaters, RVers, and off-roading enthusiasts. Buy the latest gear, discover the best destinations, and check out the all-new, fully redesigned Toyota Land Cruiser. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 16th through 19th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
A little Rod Wave. Apparently, Rod Wave is Keegan Murray's favorite artist. Keegan earned some points with me. Would not have guessed that. Would not. Rod Wave had the Redo concert last night. I was out at Tom's doing a watch party for the Niners. Wasn't much to watch, but while I was out there, people started showing up for the Rod Wave Redo concert, and maybe Keegan was in attendance. Who knows? I don't think that timing worked out. I think they were at the game. I don't
think he was.
You know, you can get on the jet, maybe a secret show for Keegan. So shout out Rod Wave and shout out.
Something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out Keegan Murray. As Keegan Murray, we're going to talk about Keegan Murray too, because offensively, Keegan showed up in a way that we hadn't seen. I don't know what it is. You know, it's funny because as much as I remember last season, after the Kings lost to the Warriors in Game 7 in just heartbreaking fashion, I remember the conversation being that the Warriors kind of had the Kings number. And something shifted throughout the course of last season. I honestly think it might have been that play-in game where the Kings came back from that huge deficit to where it's completely flipped, and you see a version of the Kings against the Warriors. Now, yes, the Kings had won 3 straight, but they weren't playing like this. And Kevin Huerter was not shooting like that. And Keegan Murray was not shooting like that. So they need to be able to harness this stuff and play like this against other teams as well, because the way they've played against the Warriors, there's just no fear anymore, and the obviously not the same juice as a couple years back where one team's the 10 seed and the other team is fighting to be the 11 seed.
I don't know, Styles, because last night felt like Game 6 of that playoff series from 2023 when the Kings were down 3-2. They went back to Golden State. You like are down because they lost 2 in a row on your home court. You're not expecting it, and the Kings just crushed them. Like 20-point lead going into the fourth quarter, just crushed them. And last night felt like that, where it's like I thought they could win. I did not expect them to just obliterate the Warriors. Like, this might be the worst loss of the season for the Warriors, and they've had some bad ones.
Yeah, it's got to be close, and specifically because the Kings did it with no De'Aaron Fox. I mean, everyone has gotten the memo that Malik Monk is a Warriors killer besides the Warriors. You can't be too proud to call some doubles, and you're missing GP2, you're missing Pajemski. So as far as what the defense is, I'm trying to think off the top of my head how much, Andrew Wiggins is a pretty darn good defender, but whatever they were doing, it was not working, and they had no answer. And they just, in classic Warriors fashion, they just kept turning the ball over. I believe it was 33 points off of turnovers that the Kings got against the Warriors. So just a nasty, nasty game for the Warriors. But, how much of that is the Warriors and how much of that is the Kings? I think when you have a Devin Carter who has impressed me, we're going to talk about whether or not he should be untouchable with those reports coming from Mark Stein. But you talk about a Devin Carter, a Keon Ellis who's playing so much and playing so well. There are people trying to come down Mike Brown's road about Malik Monk and Keon Ellis, and we don't necessarily need to do that. But we are going to acknowledge that when you let guys play free, and we're not dealing with dog houses anymore, things can be different. Y'all know I love to talk about my heyday, right? And when you're in a lineup, no matter what sport it is, versus, oh, here's a pinch hit, Allen. Hopefully you get a hit, because if not, you're back on the bench next game, versus, hey, we believe in you. You're going to get 5 games, 10 games, 3 at-bats a game. Let's see if you can get into a rhythm. And that's what we're seeing with Keon Ellis offensively as well. He's not perfect offensively, but he's going to the rack more. It's not just shooting threes, and it's because the leash has been let off a little bit. 916-339-1140. Let's get to these calls. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, you know the number. I just said it. Here's Mark. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Mark? What you got for us?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah, first of all, I give it up the season pretty much, so I have to apologize to the Kings. I've been kind of giving you grief about liking the guy from the Lakers. I like both players, but I want to jump on and say, man, I think he is kind of untouchable. I just love the vibe I get from our rookie. His rebounding tenacity. If there's just one player who snatched that rebound from Sabonis,
yeah,
kind of looked at him. That kid is just, I don't know. He's just different, man. I love our backcourt. It gives me that Boston Holiday, Derek, or is it the White backcourt? I feel like we have a young version of that. I wouldn't want to touch those guys. I just wish we had a backup for Keegan, like a playmate for him. I just don't know what we would give up to that. Yeah, I was hoping for Finney, honestly. That was a trade that I wish we would have jumped on. I don't know. I was just excited. And, like I said, I'm excited about our rookie. That kid is just something different, like a Bonzi Wells with, maybe his offensive game's going to come around. He's just too hyper right now. He just needs to calm down and relax.
A little bit frantic, but, that's what we expect. Thanks for the call, Mark. Yeah, what I'm struggling with, and maybe I'm being a little bit too simple-minded, but it's just hard for me to see this team continuing to move forward with Keon, Malik, De'Aaron Fox, and Devin Carter. That just feels like a lot of guards, and it feels like the imbalance. As much as you like it, it's not that you can't have those 4 guys on your roster. It's that you have those 4 guys on your roster and you're missing other pieces. Now, I guess the way you fix that, or the way if you confirm that you want to rock with that, is by moving Kevin Huerter. Right? Now, Kevin Huerter, I do think, brings a different element than those 4 guys. Whether you think the element is necessary on the team or not, that's your prerogative. But Kevin Huerter being that pure shooter, and Kevin Huerter, he's got decent size on him, but being 6'7", 6'8", whatever he is, that's the conversation. I don't know that you can have all 4 as far as those guards on the team. You definitely can't have all 5. I don't see how you continue on with a roster like that, to Mark's point, with no backup or no help for Keegan Murray. That's my issue there. So having those 5 guards, and I know Kevin will mess around at the 3 and Devin Carter can mess around at the 3 a little bit, but having those 5 guards, it just doesn't seem terribly realistic. So I don't know. I really, out of that 5, you really could say you can make an argument for all of them to stay, or each of them to stay, or each of them to go. So I understand what Mark is saying, but yeah, I do think you have to prioritize some type of backup for Keegan Murray, and you just can't. It just feels like you have one too many guards, and that's what we thought. And then you have the conversation, well, is Devin Carter and Keon redundant? Watching them play just these last couple games, I don't think they're terribly similar off the top of my head, but there's enough overlap there, like an apple and a pear. There's enough overlap there that you got to make a decision, or you like the overlap, you like the way that looks, and you move Kevin Huerter, which they've already been trying to do. The whole conversation has been Kevin Huerter, as far as his contract is concerned, you might need to move both to make a move. So that's where Monty McNair is probably stuck in the mud a little bit, as Devin Carter has a pretty good outing. I mean, I would say it was good, and we'll give it a grade a little bit later in the show, but I don't know that an A+ is going to be my grade. So don't want to spoil it as far as whether I think he should be untouchable or not, but ultimately, I just don't know if they can afford it. You definitely can't afford Keon and Devin Carter to be untouchable. I don't see how that works. 916-339-1140. Let's get to TC. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
Allen, what's up, bro?
TC, where are you?
Hey, I'm gonna call y'all back right now, bro. Let me call you back. Sorry about that.
Okay, all good. He sounded like he was at a music festival.
That was crazy. I turned it on and I was just like, oh my gosh. I don't know if you're listening this morning, but Dave played that sound effect that comes on every time YouTube TV finishes a Kings game.
Oh yeah,
it sounded like that. Just like hit me right across the face.
It sounded like he was in a Transformer. He was in Optimus Prime.
He was in an auto shop. Or something.
I don't know what was going on with TC.
Is this the silver medalist behind our guy Pharmacy Jeff right now?
Where is Pharmacy Jeff, by the way?
Gotta go.
What's the Kings record since Pharmacy Jeff called in?
Gotta go.
They're undefeated.
Dude, you might be right. I'm thinking back. It was the day before Mike Brown got fired. So I think...
No. Mike Brown was already fired for sure.
Was it last week?
It was just last week.
Pharmacy Jeff was last week.
So I think the Kings are 3-0 since Pharmacy Jeff called in.
I can timestamp it. We'll figure this out. Let's take another caller. I'll figure this out.
As Kyle figured, I'm telling you right now, I know they're either 3-0 or 4-0 since Pharmacy Jeff. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Ashley. Ashley, what you got for us?
So I just want to say I am super, super excited with the way that Doug's been getting the Kings to play this last 5 games. Sure, we lost the first one. I kind of expected it just because of how he got brought on as the interim head coach. There wasn't a whole lot of time. He didn't get the practice to kind of try and instill anything new or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So with that, these last 4 games have been incredible. And Devin Carter, he didn't score in the first game, but I'm super, super excited with what I've been seeing from him. And I've been a big person saying we need a trade. At this point, actually, though, with how Doug's getting us to play, I'm actually okay not making a move just because of the level of buy-in and the level of just focus from the team it seems that he has right now. I don't want to mess with that.
That's the problem. That's not the problem, but that's a situation right now. Thanks for the call, Ashley. You can't have it all. And this is what happens with these teams. They stink and you want them to make a move. But there's not a lot of value there, right? And I know it's not game to game, but in a way it is. Cam Johnson, his value went up, so they stink. The value goes down. Everybody wants to move them. Now they play better. Now you don't want to move them. If you're Monty McNair, you could say, well, they've won 4 games. So that's what we're going to have a conversation about on the other side.
Real quick before we go,
Okay.
you were in fact correct.
Good dude by all accounts, but he does not fit. Does not fit. All right. Gotta go.
All right, so since that moment that Pharmacy Jeff called in and was summoned in the middle of his phone call, that was the day of the Mavericks game. The Kings are 4-0 since our friend Pharmacy Jeff called into the station.
Good dude by all accounts, but he does not fit. Does not fit. All right. Gotta go.
We will play that in full on the other side. Pharmacy Jeff, that was, a couple weeks ago now. Pharmacy Jeff, he called in during work. He just had to get that take off. And then after that, he had to go back to work and help somebody get their medicine because it's cold season. We want to hear back from Pharmacy Jeff, or maybe not, since the Kings are undefeated since. On the other side, we hit the 11 o'clock hour, 1 hour down, 4 to go. Is a move necessary? Let's talk about what happened last night. And maybe the Kings are good enough as is. Is that crazy talk? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health, and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers, too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with an adjustable base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Shop Big O Tires now through January 26th and get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Cooper, Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo brand tires. Installation purchase required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tires dealer for details.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140.
your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
From the 916. As much as I loved seeing the Kings smash the sorry and washed Dubs by 30, they did lose by 51 to the Grizzlies. I do remember that now. God dang!
Oh, that's right. Draymond
That's
put
crazy.
up Draymond put up the Tony Snell.
That's right.
0-0-0-0.
And I think Steph had two points in that game.
It was no made field goals.
Yeah, you're right. 916. That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. Kyle, do we have we're trying to get everybody caught up. If you missed this call, this was either last week or a couple weeks ago. It was during the holiday week.
It was right? December 30th. I don't have the full his entire call.
Yeah. So basically, Jeff called in, and the Kings are undefeated since this moment. They're 4-0. Jeff called into the show and was making some really good points, and then all of a sudden we heard what seemed to sound like a pharmacy tone. And
I thought it was a grocery store at first.
Yes, and Jeff. It turned out Jeff. We still don't actually know if Jeff was the one who called the pharmacy help or if he was working, but the Kings are undefeated since this moment.
Good dude by all accounts, but he does not fit. Does not fit. All right, gotta go.
Gotta go.
And that's me at the very end. So,
which is also now our drop that I've been playing at the end of every show.
Yes.
Gotta go.
Kings are undefeated since Pharmacy
They are
Jeff.
4-0. This is like reverse Royale.
Yeah.
The losing streak started because the Kings got rid of Royale, and now Pharmacy Jeff is the universe is all coming together, right?
That's
Royale and Pharmacy Jeff have ended up in chaotic neutral.
Royale had to go. Pharmacy Jeff had to go to work.
Good dude by all accounts, but he does not fit. Does not fit. All right, gotta go.
Shout out Pharmacy Jeff. The Kings are undefeated.
I hope Pharmacy Jeff is listening to the show and just chooses not to call back, because that's the other part.
Right.
We've never heard from Pharmacy Jeff since. We have regulars who call in either every day or every other day, and we've never heard from Pharmacy Jeff again.
Yeah. What did the call actually happen? Luckily, we have it recorded. So shout out to Pharmacy Jeff. Kings on a winning streak. They've won 4. They are undefeated their last 4 games. And to Ashley's point, who called before the break, yeah, I mean, we have to count that Lakers game, but I'm putting an asterisk next to it. And what I've been saying is Doug Christie is undefeated when he's had more than 24 hours to prepare. That's what I've been saying. So obviously the Laker game counts. We all know it does. But Doug Christie, when he's had more than or at least 24 hours to prepare or more.
Let's say when he's had more than 8 hours of sleep.
There you go. There you go. So the question is now, how do you feel about the Kings and whether or not a move still seems to be necessary? Some of these numbers from last night and during the winning streak are eye-popping for some guys that we were just about ready to get up out of here. So 916-339-1140. Let's go to Shrestha. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Shrestha? What you got for us?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So I've been ride or die with these Kings, come hell or high water, even when they do Kings kind of things. But last night was amazing. It shows great possibility, but we cannot get too high on this because how often is everyone going to be on a heater like they did last night? So I still think we need to get a backup power forward or a backup big, or maybe not backup. Maybe it's a starting power forward. I think we still need to go on that journey. But who do we give up? I think it's Foxy. If he wants to go, if his agent pushes for that, I think we can get a King's ransom and get somebody in there. Our starting guards yesterday showed us the possibility. I think we can survive if we can get something in return. What are your thoughts on that?
Thanks for the call, Shrestha. I'm be honest with you. Did not think that's where this was going, to move once you were talking about bringing in a power forward to move De'Aaron Fox. But I did say at the beginning of this show that conversation was going to come up. And we love Shrestha when you call in. It's always great stuff. As far as what I think about it, I think about the fact that De'Aaron Fox is a top 30 player in the league. And most of the time, when you move somebody like that, it doesn't work out for you unless you're doing a full-blown rebuild. Now, when the Oklahoma City Thunder moved off of Paul George and got back Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I guess that was somewhat similar, but OKC had a lot of different – they essentially did blow it up. It was just a very quick blow up, and they just – OKC, I'm about ready to say that OKC just isn't the norm. So when we think about these blow-up situations, they are not the norm. They did everything right, and they got a little lucky.
I would say they got very lucky.
Yes.
It did take a while.
And it took a while.
They lost for 2 years in a row, plus that weird season where Chris Paul was there and they overachieved. Yeah. Like, it was a 3-4 year rebuild. I mean, it wasn't quick. I think they just got lucky in the sense that they got a future MVP in the trade of Paul George and didn't trade him when they had the opportunity to.
So I would say, so a couple ways to go here. The first thing I would say is that, to answer your question, I wouldn't do it just because I feel like the value of De'Aaron Fox and having a top 30 player in a market like Sacramento is very necessary. I haven't seen enough from Devin Carter yet. I haven't seen enough from Keon Ellis yet. I do feel like Malik Monk is going to take it to another level, but you wanted Malik Monk to stay to pair with De'Aaron Fox. So I don't think that Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, and Devin Carter, I don't think that's a good enough guard group in the West, personally. So I wouldn't do it, but I understand why you would do it or why that would pop into your mind. As far as who I would then work with, I know there were reports, I think at one point with the net about the Nets. There were reports with the Heat. As far as what Shrestha is talking about, I got essentially 2 teams, maybe 3 that I would entertain. Yes, okay. If we're talking about the Nets, you give me Cam, you give me Nick Claxton, you give me a bunch of players that are ready to go. Maybe we would have a conversation. So I'm looking at the Nets. I'm looking at now again. If you're just now tuning in, I'm not doing this. Doing this. But I would look at the Nets. Second team I would look at the Heat. Now, the Heat are in a tough situation now with this Jimmy Butler thing, so maybe it's a 3-team type trade because I don't want Jimmy Butler back. I don't want to pay him that money. But I am interested in the assets that the Heat have. Now, the issue with the Heat and why, honestly, we might have to take him out of the conversation is because of what happened with Jimmy. They're not trying to add to Jimmy. So now Jaime Jaquez, Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, those guys are probably now untouchable because you're going to rock with them since you're losing Jimmy Butler. So that was, and we haven't even had time to talk about this because the weekend happened and the Kings just whooped the bleep out of the Warriors. But that does affect the De'Aaron Fox market, this Jimmy Butler thing, because everybody wanted to send De'Aaron Fox to Miami. It depends on what Miami wants to do. If they get a bunch of young pieces back for Jimmy Butler, if they trade him, De'Aaron Fox is not going to Miami.
Or it's going to be a weird 3-team rerouting situation.
Exactly, but there's no world where Jimmy goes to the Kings.
No, but there is a world where if De'Aaron says, I don't want to sign the extension in the offseason, that he gives a list of teams and maybe Miami's on that list, and then Miami evaluates their timeline. But no, in the short term, there's no situation where Jimmy is going to the Kings. I mean, the crazy report this weekend is like there's not really a trade that works. Teams would have to give up too much to get Jimmy Butler on a 1-year deal.
Right, too much, and he's too expensive. So as far as right now, I don't know what the Heat were high on my list. I don't know about that. So really it's the Nets, and I'm going to skip over the Rockets because I don't know who's touchable, untouchable there. Jalen Green can't get moved to the summer. I'm skipping over the Rockets and the Spurs because in my opinion, I personally don't think that those pieces are pieces to keep you rocking. I think that those pieces start the process of a blow-up / rebuild. So the third team I'm going to say, and I might sound crazy, and it might tick somebody off, but again, Shrestha started this conversation, not me. Shout out Shrestha. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. Because to me, the Los Angeles Lakers, they have a little bit of redundancy that they'd be willing to move off of, right? Personally, y'all know I have certain players that I'm in love with. I really do like Rui Hachimura. So if the Lakers are able to create, they got to come off Austin Reeves. And I don't know how well Austin Reeves and Malik Monk would play together per se. But if the Lakers really want De'Aaron Fox, go hang out and have a clutch world with everyone. And you're willing to come off of Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, and, a couple picks, whatever it is, I'd have that conversation. And I'm not even that high on Austin Reeves. But if you wanted to have that conversation, now you have Rui to kind of play off of Keegan, right? And then you get a scoring guard in Austin Reeves who can facilitate. I would be interested in that. But those are really, so if we're removing the Heat, it's really the Nets and the Lakers off the top of my head that makes the most sense, just initially. So there are a couple teams there that you can play with. Again, this was from a caller. I personally wouldn't move off of De'Aaron Fox. I just don't think the Kings are in a position. Yeah, the text line is going crazy. The Sack chat's going crazy, saying no Lakers, no Lakers. I hear you. I'm just giving you options here. And if there's a team that you feel like I'm missing, 916-339-1140, let's have that conversation. So I do feel like there is a conversation somewhere within the debate of De'Aaron Fox, but where I sit on this fence is that you're a market like Sacramento, who you're probably not going to get the biggest names in free agency. I just don't think you can move off of De'Aaron Fox. And I've been hard on De'Aaron Fox as far as his leadership and, the levels of his stardom versus other stardoms. I've been hard on De'Aaron, but even with that being said, relatively speaking, I would not move off of De'Aaron Fox. I wouldn't do it. 916 is saying Houston or Spurs. Yeah, I just mentioned Houston or Spurs. To me, that sounds like the beginning of a rebuild. And a lot of people, the Rockets, their fan base is a little bit delusional. They're saying Jabari Smith Jr. is untouchable. Tari Eason is untouchable. All they want to do is give up Jalen Green. That's the only guy they want to give up. So I don't know who's untouchable for the Rockets. Now, Tari Eason and Jabari Smith Jr., if I'm not mistaken, I think they both were on the top 25, under 25 list. I know Tari Eason was, for sure. So if we're having that conversation, cool. But from what I've heard, the Rockets aren't really sure who they want untouchable and who they don't. So you're not going to get me with a Fred VanVleet and a Dylan Brooks. Just stop it. Again, I would not move off of De'Aaron Fox. But if you are a caller that thinks that you've seen enough from the guard play from last night, right, or just in general, you think that Malik Monk can be that dude, I'm mad at you.
Imagine the MIDI committee of VanVleet, Devin Carter, Keon Ellis, Malik Monk.
DeMar DeRozan. Oh, come on now. All right, let's keep the conversation going. And we are going to evaluate Devin Carter's debut with the Sacramento Kings. And we asked the question, should he be untouchable? Mark Stein says that apparently he is. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Heat. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with an adjustable base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. Every day, ZipRecruiter helps people who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
In case you wonder, we're in. Mr. Carter has finally joined us. Devin Carter made his debut. And can I just say, I got to double check the minutes that he played. But initially, I know on Friday, we had a lot of conversation about how much time he would play on Friday with it being his pops in town. He was coming off a back-to-back. He played 10 minutes, nearly 11 minutes. So it was legit. It was all legit. He did not score on Friday. He took 3 shots, 5 rebounds in less than 11 minutes. He had 2 assists as well, more minutes than what Kyle and I expected. He was a rebounding machine, which was part of the scouting report. I know we saw him do it. I think Providence is in the Big East now. I can't keep up with these conferences. So we saw him do it at the college level, and he ran a couple DHOs with Sabonis early on. The Sunday game, that is where we saw more of Devin Carter. He played 23 minutes, had some time on Steph Curry, 13 points, 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 7 from three-point range, 7 rebounds again. So just a rebounding machine, 1 steal, 2 assists. He baited Kyle Anderson on a foul from 3 on a pump fake. And yeah, as a rebounding guard, he is just a baller. So it looks like Carter, Keon, Herter, Lyles, and Len have established themselves as the bench unit until a trade takes place. And if we're giving Devin Carter a grade, Kyle's dealing with the phone lines right now. If we're giving Devin Carter a grade, a lot of people are really high. We had somebody call in earlier, I believe that was Mark, say that Devin Carter, kind of leaning towards the untouchable thing. So we're going to talk about whether or not he should be untouchable or not. But a grade in his first 2 games, Kyle, I just think I'm going a straight up B. Maybe I'm being a tough grader, but I think I'm giving him a B. I think a B is kind of what I expected. And if you want to get to the B minus, A minus, or B plus, A minus, I would have wanted to be surprised by something I saw. I don't know that I was surprised. I was glad that he was as advertised, I'd say, but he wasn't, I wouldn't say better than advertised. So a solid B for me, an 85. That is, hey, I'll run home and tell my parents I got an 85. That's a 3.0. That's good. That's pretty darn good. I'm giving him a B.
I guess I would say he finished above expectations for me because all I was hearing all summer was this draft class was no good and the Devin Carter was the 13 pick coming off of injury and we shouldn't expect much from him this year. And it looks like Devin Carter, Keon Ellis, Kevin Herter, Trey Lyles, some Alex Len, that's going to be their 10 off the bench until either a trade gets made or until further notice. Like he is going to be a rotation player almost immediately. So in that sense, I would say above expectation. I also wasn't expecting the Kevin O'Connors and the Mark Steins and Jonathan Gavonis to come out of the woodwork and be like, oh yeah, this guy should have been a top 5 pick in the draft last year, but injuries is the reason he fell. I was like, great, awesome. That adds value in a place I didn't expect. So yeah, I would say above expectations for sure. I know he didn't score all that much, but the rebounding was excellent. He baited Kyle Anderson on a foul, on a pump fake, got 3 free throws out of it. Like as good as above expectations, better than I expected. I didn't think we'd see basically 34 minutes of Devin Carter in 2 blowout victories for the Kings.
Yeah, I said 85. I'll raise it to an 86, and I could probably be talked into an 87 for a B.
Well, at this point, we got to just give him an A.
No. Well, I'm not doing that because that would have been, again, I don't even know what that would have been, but just from my initial thought, a strong B. I'll give him an 86, and you can talk me into a B+.
I'm just doing the high school kid of we're this close. Can't we get it up to a 89.5 is all you need. You don't even need a 90. You just need an 89.5
to start the arguing. I just got to keep my GPA above 2.0, but Devin Carter was well above that, and so much so that Mark Stein had this to say. This came out a couple days ago. Sources also confirmed to the Stein line that the Kings have indeed held trade talks with the Nets regarding Cam Johnson again. Can I say I'm kind of getting tired of this a little bit. Just either you know what or get off the pot. I just want it to happen or just move on with it. But anyway, continuing with the quote, but I'm told that the prize rookie Devin Carter to this point has not been included in any of the team's discussions. The Kings value Carter highly and excitedly watched the 22-year-old make his NBA debut Friday against the visiting Memphis Grizzlies with his father, Grizzlies assistant coach Anthony Carter, on the opposing bench. So it sounds – now, again, what's interesting is that this doesn't mean that Devin Carter is untouchable. This means that the Kings don't want to move Devin Carter in a Cam Johnson deal. And that is what we talked about on Friday, because there were the Kevin O'Connors of the world also said they wouldn't do it. Kevin O'Connor felt like Cam Johnson's being a little bit overvalued, and Kevin O'Connor was asked by a Kings fan. So his Twitter does work. He just doesn't respond to my DMs, but he was asked by a Kings fan, would you include Devin Carter to get a Cam Johnson deal done? He said no. I think he said he wouldn't even do it for a 2 firsts, whatever it was. So he agreed with the Kings front office that Devin Carter shouldn't be a part of the Cam Johnson deal. That doesn't mean that Devin Carter is untouchable, but that means that they don't think that they want to move off of Devin Carter for the Cam Johnson deal. From what I've seen, Kyle, I gave him a strong B. I could be talked into a B+. I need to see more. I don't know, man. It's hard for me, and maybe the Cam Johnson thing specifically that I'm okay with, but if there's any talk of Devin Carter being untouchable, I'm still struggling with that a little bit.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question, because I tend to agree once a player is drafted, the value shouldn't go down. You should still value him like the 13th pick in last year's draft. So therefore, I understand not trading a lottery pick and more to get Cam Johnson. I don't think the Spurs gave up, or the Raptors gave up a top 10 pick for Jakob Poeltl, and I think they kind of regret doing that. So I don't think Cam Johnson is that much better. I guess my question would be, what is preventing you, beyond just the small sample size, what is preventing you from getting us up to that 89.5% or that B+ territory? Like, what is it that is that blockade between 86% and 89%?
I mean, it's not much. I just think that offensively, if people that are saying to move off of De'Aaron Fox, okay, and we just talked to a caller who said they would want to do that. You still need to have scoring, playmaking guards. I think Devin Carter is a bit of a playmaker, but and I'm not saying to move off of De'Aaron. I don't want to move off of De'Aaron Fox, but you're talking about a team that would have Keon Ellis, who's not a crazy playmaker, Malik Monk, who is an incredible playmaker, and now Devin Carter, who I haven't seen enough. But if you're talking specifically for what he just did over the weekend, I'm not going to fight over a couple percentage points here. I'll give him a B+. That's fine.
There we go.
It's not good enough. It's still not good enough for me to make him untouchable. I think anybody who's saying Devin Carter is untouchable is just kind of doing the fan. And you know what's funny? I'm going to say doing the fan thing where it seems like the front office is making him untouchable. But I also think they're doing the fan thing to where he's already being maybe a smidge overvalued. And it ultimately comes down to, what is it that you want, Sacramento? It's the same thing we asked with the Warriors as they got the brakes beat off them. What is it that Sacramento wants? Do you want to can you keep is there a world where the Kings keep De'Aaron Fox, keep all their young talents and compete at a high level? I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if they can do all of that. I think you keep De'Aaron Fox, but you make some moves that require the Kings to move off of young talent, or you move off of De'Aaron Fox and you focus on the young potential and you get other pieces. I just don't know there's a world where you can do all of the things it seems like the Kings want to do. And if I'm choosing De'Aaron Fox over Devin Carter. I know it's not that simple, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm not saying you have to, but right now the Kings feel like they're trying to do everything. And you know how the saying goes, jack of all trades, master of none. Let's get back to the phone lines. We got some of our favorites on the line when we return. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
Yeah, that's my girl.
Dylan Scott, Country Till I Die Tour.
That's my girl.
Platinum selling artist Dylan Scott. With special guests Jackson Dean and Avery Anna.
Just can't have mine. Thank God she loves me. God knows I got so lucky.
Friday, January 10th, 7 p.m. The venue in Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com.
You guys got a new Honda? Well, it was like this. My mom was driving me to school when, damn, our car started smoking. My mom wasn't happy, so she called my dad and said, honey, if you value your life and our marriage, you'll take care of this now. So my dad calls up Stockton Honda and was like, can you get me approved for a new car and save my marriage? And they're all, sure, Mr. Jones, we do this every day. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hey, this is Greg Pop-Up. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 16th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get discount coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, show map, exhibitor listing, and seminar schedules. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 16th through 19th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Talking about Devin Carter and what moves would you make for the Sacramento Kings as they are rolling 4-game winning streak. I gave Devin Carter a strong B. I was coerced into a B+, just like a teacher dealing with a student athlete.
Now is when we work it to an A-.
No, I'm
just all I need is 89.5. I don't need, it doesn't have to be.
I'm not moving after that, but 916 says fair grade, but no summer league, no nothing. Plus, he came back way faster than Herter. Yeah, I'm still not giving him an A. A-, a soft B+. That's where we're at with that. 209 says, of course you don't move Devin Carter. He's your backup point guard to replace Fox because you're not re-signing him for that kind of money. Maybe you're not. I mean, I would, right? I mean, you have to decide, or De'Aaron Fox has to decide, really. I think would be ridiculous. I think it would be ridiculous to move off of De'Aaron Fox or to choose to move off of De'Aaron Fox. If the Kings get into a situation next season, I don't see them saying, hey, De'Aaron, or before next season, we're going to move you. I think it would be De'Aaron saying, hey, I don't think this is going to work. So I hear you, 209, but I just haven't seen enough from Devin Carter to make statements like that.
But also, I feel like the Devin Carter thing is he could be a replacement, but you have no idea. If for some reason Fox doesn't sign the extension, you have no idea what the Kings roster is going to look like after that. There could be multiple players going out in a trade. There could be 3-team deals that bring in another star. Like, it's impossible to project what the roster is going to look like if you make that deal. The bigger thing right now is he untouchable for a Cam Johnson, a Kyle Kuzma, a short-term upgrade at the deadline. Once you get to the offseason, there's so many more things on the table.
There are a lot of people, and I love the fans. And I look, like we said, we do not police fans here, but a lot of y'all, one game, and I know it's more than one game. There's been some drama, and look, I know I'm not switching up. Somebody said I switched up on social media. I'm not switching up. I'm just saying you want De'Aaron out of here off one game? I know he's got to be better. I know that he is, I would call a tier 2 superstar, not tier 1, but I can't believe how many of y'all want De'Aaron out of here. And, on the other side, just very much in love with Devin Carter already. All right, let's get to the phone lines. This is kind of like the Avengers of the phone lines right now. Dwayne, TC, and Javi. TC trying to call back. TC, are you at where were you in a body shop? What were you doing? What's up, TC?
Hey, you a fool, bro. Hey, hey, I was at a construction site, bro. I was like, you know what? Hey, I was gonna break. I had to put it on hold, bro. I was at a construction site, bro. I was at work, dog. That's all.
All good. What you got?
Hey, so all I'm gonna say on that note, bro, we won't miss a beat if it happens. We wouldn't be back in the dog days. We wouldn't be none of that. If we was to make that move today, like right now, this very second, the team wouldn't miss a beat and they continue to be playing how they playing right now. In my opinion, I was trying to include him in trades until I seen what he brought. We gave Davion a standing ovation for what he do. This dude's taller, longer arms, and rebounding. He out rebounded Domas on the rebound to where Domas turned around and looked back at him like, who the heck was that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Devin Carter. He's out jumped. Listen, bro, he has everything we need. I'm with you, Allen. All I'm saying is, bro, we would not miss a beat. That dude, untouchable. You talking about untouchable like the crazy trades, like for a Giannis. Like, that's a no-brainer, bro. He's going in that trade.
Of course.
But we talking about for like Cam Johnson or Kyle Kuzma. At this point, bro, I'm not giving him up, bro.
Yeah, I hear you. And I do think there's a line. Thanks for the call, TC. Hope work goes quickly for you.
Hope wherever you are now is much calmer.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Right? Obviously, there's a level to this, but I guess that's let's not do the Giannis thing because that's too easy. That's why I want this to be kind of a tougher exercise. And TC is saying, no, I'm not moving Devin Carter for the Kuzmas of the world, the Brandon Ingrams of the world, the Cam Johnsons of the world. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I feel like I need to see more. I'm definitely not in the camp of there's no way.
I'm trying to see if we can think of another name because I brought up DeAndre Hunter.
How about DeAndre Hunter? I like DeAndre Hunter because of his age. Now, Jeremy Grant, to me, another tough one. I don't think I'm moving Devin Carter for Jeremy Grant because I don't like the contract. And I also haven't seen Jeremy Grant play in about 3 years.
Jeremy Grant makes more money than De'Aaron Fox. Like, we're not going to be doing that.
All right, let's keep the conversation going. We got Dwayne and Javi. Let's get to Javi, then we got Dwayne. What's up, Javi? What you got for us?
How you doing, Mr. Stiles? I shout out to my brother TC, man. We play on the same adult football league team. Shout out to the Sacktown Ballers and Sacktown Ballers. That's my brother TC.
Adult football?
Yeah, I played 4 years of high school football and I played 4 years of college football, so I just continue to play because football is my passion, man. But he's on my team.
But tell me, Javi, we're talking about flat because you know that video that goes around about once a year when the dudes are playing tackle football. You're not playing tackle football, are you?
No, it's full 8-on-8 contact, but we're not like tackling each other. But like you can like definitely press and do that thing post snap. You know what I mean? Like we don't play like sissy football. We play real football, but
okay,
we're not like out there trying to bust somebody head wide open. Nothing like that. We all got to go to work.
Right.
CTC's at the construction site. I'm on my break right now, but I have a trade that I think it builds to both the timeline that we're on as well as the future if De'Aaron, heaven forbid, knock on wood, requests out. And this is the trade that will put us over the top. And I love the Johnson, Kuzma, Hunter idea. But I'll tell you right now, none of them guys are putting us over the pendulum. I'm calling while not just they're in town, but coincidentally they're playing tonight. We're not going to ever build around these three if, again, heaven forbid, knock on wood, De'Aaron leaves. But we build around a Carter and a Monk and an Ellis and a Murray if Fox does request out. So this trade will not affect the future if he leaves. But I know what it would do. It put us in championship contention. At least in the Western Conference. I'm going to call the Miami Heat and offer DeRozan, Herter, and Lyles for Jimmy Butler, Haywood, Highsmith, and Nikola Jovic right now. And if De'Aaron Fox doesn't want to resign, we let Jimmy Butler walk in free agency and we build around Monk, Murray, Ellis, and Carter. But that team right there, sir, De'Aaron, Malik Monk, Jimmy Butler, Keegan Murray with Sabonis, and then your bench of Carter, Ellis, Haywood, Highsmith, Crowders, Isaac Jones of the world with also Alex Lynn. Like that team right there, that's a Western Conference championship team.
But Javi, don't you think that's not enough?
They are desperate beyond any measure to get rid of Jimmy Butler. They're going to let him walk and let him go in free agency for free. But AG, disgruntled star who just said, I am good being a part of the organization.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Javi. And be careful. I should have asked Javi what position he plays. My days are done after my Achilles, but I should have asked Javi what position. I don't even do turkey bowl.
8-on-8. I'm trying to figure out how that math works. Is it just an extra receiver, probably?
Hey, those were the good old days.
One blocker, one pass rusher.
I just don't think that's Miami's going to want picks or something.
Oh, let me also say that trade cannot happen. Just money-wise, it's impossible. So we can start there. That trade would not work by a long shot in the trade machine.
I just assumed that Javi ran it through the trade machine because he normally does.
No, he would not have. Because if he said Lyles, DeRozan, and I don't know.
Did he say Herter?
Herter?
He must have said Herter.
Yeah, they would still be short by a few dollars.
So the Jimmy Butler thing, everybody knows how I feel about Jimmy Butler. I'm not a huge Jimmy Butler guy, especially at 35 years old and $50 million. But again, Javi's larger point to building around the guards and Keon Ellis, Devin Carter, Malik Monk. We're already there. Are we already there, people? That's where we're at already. Let's sneak Dwayne in. Dwayne, what you got for us?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, listen, man, if we the Avengers, man, I'm Black Panther, man.
That's right.
I'm just saying, I'm Black Panther, man.
We need him recasted, so that's perfect, Dwayne. We good.
Yeah, let me do it, man. I can do it. now, check this out, man. It's on and cracking. This is what we got to do. Bottom line, and the parity in the West is helping the Kings stay in it. So now the West is in trouble, man, because these dudes is balling. What we got to do is go back to the Beam team. Let's trade DeRozan and Carter to Brooklyn and get Cam Johnson, because what you got to imagine is the Beam team plus Cam Johnson. Bro, we're going to mess with OKC after that. I got to go back to work, so I got to keep it short, fellas. But I'm telling you, that's the trade. Let's get it.
Wow. Thanks for the call, Dwayne. Great stuff as always. So DeRozan and Carter for Cam Johnson. I just feel like the Nets are going to want something else because DeMar DeRozan, now they did say they were looking for a star. So DeMar DeRozan, you're losing Cam Johnson. I just feel like based on what we've heard, the Nets are going to want more. Now, do you throw a first in there? Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. But the question is, who wants DeMar DeRozan? And we'll get to this on the other side as well as we have the conversation whether or not the Kings are the real deal right now. Because on the morning show, they brought up, why isn't anybody talking about DeMar DeRozan? And here on this show, we keep on saying we don't know who would want DeMar DeRozan, as respectfully as we can say that as far as his value. So we'll break down that trade and continue the conversation. The phone lines keep rolling, so we will keep rolling as well. More texts, more calls, more Sack Chat. Are we entertained? Yes. But do we believe that it's real? I don't know yet. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Heat. King Night with Scott Marsh and the High Flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with an adjustable base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis a plus 36. DeMar DeRozan a plus 17. Keegan Murray plus 10. Malik Monk plus 41. Keon Ellis plus 19. Trey Lyles plus 33. Domantas Sabonis 22 points. 13 rebounds. Should have started Kevon Looney. Maybe that would have helped. Trace Jackson Davis, what is it that he actually does well? DeMar DeRozan, 12 points. Quiet game for DeMar DeRozan, 0 for 4 from three-point range after he shot the 3 ball really well against the Grizzlies, but was still a plus 17. Keegan Murray, 11 points. I mean, look, and I'm not trying to, no shade at all, but it is kind of crazy how Keegan goes 4 of 11, 3 for 8, 11 points. And was I the only one thinking that Keegan, if you had asked how many points Keegan scored, I definitely would have said more than 11. It felt like more because we haven't seen, it's less about the amount of points that Keegan scored. It was just more about the confidence. And that's what I'm talking about. I think the familiarity in playing the Warriors really helps the Kings, and it used to help the Warriors, but it really helps the Kings. Keegan has played well against the Warriors as of late, and he was not blinking at all. I haven't seen Keegan play with this type of confidence. And again, only 11 points. It's nothing otherworldly, but Keegan just getting the ball, immediately shooting. We have not seen that in a very long time.
And it was the fact that he did it all early in the game, kind of within the same 8 minutes, that it felt like it was the Keegan of old. And I looked up the stat during the game. Keegan made 3 threes in the first half. That's the first time he hit 3 threes and a half in 20 games that he's played. First time in 20 games he knocked down 3 threes.
So can it continue tonight? Malik Monk, 26 points, 12 assists, 4 steals, a plus 41. I mean, Malik was just the talk of the town. And why wouldn't he be? And the way he took care of business. Again, we continue to just look at what Malik has done and be in awe of what he has done and realize that this is a guy who maybe he's not close to his ceiling, right? Or maybe we don't talk enough about the fact that Malik does have another level he can get to. Listen to this stat line. Malik Monk, 26 points, 12 assists, 5 threes made in 29 minutes. The only player in NBA history to reach these numbers in fewer minutes, LeBron James in 2019. Malik Monk did something last night that only LeBron James has done. The only other person, LeBron James. That stat line, 26 points, 12 assists, 5 threes in 29 minutes. The only player to reach those numbers in fewer minutes, LeBron James. And peak LeBron James, 2019. So that is...
I don't know about
maybe
that.
not super
That's
peak.
Lakers LeBron James.
LeBron's peak has been far too long.
Although, in fair, I don't know the date on it, but that might have been that crazy season. He was like 37 and would have won MVP if not for the pandemic.
Yes. So Malik Monk just really, really doing his thing and showing exactly who we knew he already was, but even taking it to even more of a level. So the question is, are you not entertained? Well, yes, we are. Of course we're entertained. Do you believe that it's real? My answer is maybe. Okay? Could this be a mirage from the new coaching change and that energy that exists with the new coaching change? Well, as we continue to go through this schedule, and we know it's not going to get easier for the Kings, they do have another opportunity tonight. And I'll probably feel the same even if they win because of no Jimmy Butler, even though the Kings lost to a Miami Heat team. And that's one of those games. There were so many bad losses last season. I feel like the Miami Heat game with no Jimmy Butler or no Tyler Hero, losing at home to Duncan Robinson and the crew, I feel like that's a game that doesn't even get talked about because there were just so many bad games last season. That game, I feel like, oh, it's Heat culture, so it's okay. That game doesn't even get talked about. So you have Miami tonight. And then and again, trap game. So I'll give them the reason I will feel good about this W. Number one, we feel good about all W's, but also you are sandwiched between going to Boston on Friday. So the Kings will get a couple days off here, going to Boston on Friday, and by far the best game of the season, beating down the Golden State Warriors at home with no De'Aaron Fox. You beat the Warriors. You were on the road. You beat the Warriors in their house, no De'Aaron Fox. You whooped them good. So the reason I am worried about this is because you have the Celtics on Friday. You just beat the brakes off the Warriors. The vibes might be too good. Do you think that you've arrived? Is it crazy for me to say I might feel more comfortable with the Kings tonight if De'Aaron Fox doesn't play Is that a crazy statement?
I understand why you're thinking it, but he's still a top 30 player in the NBA who would.
But just mentally, you're back up against the wall. If the Kings go out there without De'Aaron Fox, I'm pretty sure they won't take things for granted.
Sure, yeah. Malik Monk has been cooking in the offense where it's like, hey, I'm Malik Monk. I get to do whatever I want now. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely helped, certainly. But I don't think that means you should bet on De'Aaron Fox not playing is the reason why Malik Monk.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I feel more comfortable with the Kings tonight if De'Aaron Fox doesn't play, because that means that it will be harder for the Kings to feel complacent. No Jimmy Butler. The Kings will not feel complacent if De'Aaron Fox doesn't play.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So to that, I would say no. But also, if you're getting De'Aaron Fox with a glute the size of a beach ball, then sure, I guess maybe that wouldn't help. But at the same time, if you're getting a healthy Fox, awesome. But I just can't imagine that you have healthy Fox when it wasn't that he just missed the last game. He got ruled out 12 hours
early
before the game.
And that leaves me, honestly, I would be very surprised if De'Aaron Fox plays. Because you get a couple days off, you got to fly to Boston. You have a 3-game set on the road at Boston, at Chicago, at Milwaukee, and I know the Bucks didn't start out hot, but you still got Giannis, you still got Dame. So tickets as low as $8 out there.
For which one?
For Bucks, January 14th.
For Kings and Bucks.
Kings Bucks tickets as low as $8.
Wow. Okay.
So
nice.
Yeah, there you go.
You want to go?
It's beautiful this time of year.
Is it?
So I would not play De'Aaron Fox tonight. There's no way.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't want to play medical practitioner on the air, but normally
I will.
Sure. Okay, let's just do a little bit. So normally when they're calling it a glute injury, but a lot of the times when it's your glute's connected to your hips and then all the way down to your knees, basically. So it's probably a hip and a glute. I'm not saying I know for sure. I'm just saying your hips and glutes are pretty interconnected, so that probably has something to do with it. And we know it's not like we all didn't see when it happened. It was the Jaren Jackson Jr.
I mean, ridiculous. And then he's looking around wondering, why is everybody mad at me? Look at yourself,
Someone
Jaren.
should have memed his face where Jared, I'm going to look into the camera and do it, when they called the flagrant one and he goes, what?
Yeah, he was surprised.
That was great.
At first I felt like, to be completely honest, at first I felt like he got caught in a bad spot. Then when I watched the replay, it's just, brother, either jump with him or just get out the way. You can't lay your shoulder into him as he's taking off, because De'Aaron had bad intentions.
Yeah, but
he was going to put him on a poster, and he didn't want to get put on a poster, but he also didn't want to jump with him.
But Jaren Jackson Jr. needed an intentional foul.
Yeah, well.
See what I did there?
Yes, I do. 916-339-1140. Let's get back to the call lines. Will and JR to close out this segment. What's up, Will? What you got for us?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Good.
Hey, Styles, you can't grade the kid after 2 games, man. I mean, one game against Memphis without John Moran, then a weak Warriors team. I like him. He might be pretty good, but let's hold the grades for a while.
I can change the grade, Will. I can change it.
No, but what I'm saying is, you got people calling in with crazy opinions, talking about trade everybody and let this guy lead the team. We don't. I mean, he looks kind of fragile to me. I hope he can hold up. This the NBA. This ain't Providence. You know, he looked kind of frail. I hope he in there with them trees. He might not be in there with them trees too long. You know, but tonight to me, we're gonna have a problem with Bam, man, because you know. He just blows by the boy
Sabonis.
Sabonis.
Yeah.
So I hope we win. But look, man, the whole frame of mind, the whole mental. You can see the whole team, the mental. Everything has changed. You know, you got Monk, you got Keon, and you got Fox. Man, that's a deadly trio right there.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Will. Thanks for the call, as always. Let's get the JR wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, JR? What you got for us?
Do I not entertain you?
You do sometimes.
No, I'm saying, hey, I went to Rome this year and I stood in the middle of the Coliseum and said that. That's felt really good. Anyway, my wife goes, "You're an idiot. Get out of the freaking. You're not supposed to be in that section." Hey, so a Monk and a Fryer go into Chase Center and they cause Warrior fans to switch jerseys, little kids to cry. That felt really good last night. And boy, did we need it. Because you were just talking about some bad losses from last year. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. The 4-point play at Pistons and the 70 points, whatever we gave up in the second half to freaking our boy. I'm drawing a blank on who we actually lost. I tried to block out of my brain. But anyway, those two losses in December were horrible. So the win like that last night felt so freaking good. Down there, Kerr completely losing it. Oh, my God. You watch that over and over, and Draymond is Draymond. I should have been called. I was surprised they didn't call it. Mm-hmm. But then for him to defend the fact that Keon was trying to friggin' flop. And I'm just waiting for Christie to punch another coach. It would be the greatest thing.
Thanks for the call, JR. No, we don't want violence there, but the thing is too, Doug Christie, it is all authentic, but I do appreciate him leaning into it, right? And we've talked about this before. With Doug Christie, you can try to run from the bit, you can try to run from who you are, but Doug Christie is leaning right into it, and I think that fans are just eating it up. Let's talk to Malik Monk. What does that mean in Arabic? We know you already know. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
Did you know that replacing garage doors is the biggest return on investment homeowners can get on improvements? Jason Ross here, and let me tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, a family-owned and operated company with third-generation owners that's been in business for 71 years right here in Sacramento. With new garage doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, you'll not only get the wow factor, but you'll also know that you're working with a well-respected and proven company. Residential and commercial, brand new garage doors, or repairs to existing doors, they do it all. Take advantage of their free at-home estimates on new garage doors or check out the showroom with no appointment needed. And while you're at it, mention me, Jason Ross, or Sacktown Sports and receive $100 off a new garage door paired with a new garage door opener. Check out their website at ohdsac.com or call them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Two hours down, 2 to go. The vibes are right. Feeling good. Because we had a beam last night. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports. We're about to have a Malik Monk conversation because he says some things about why it's been working with Doug Christie, okay, and why things are resonating more. I want to shout out to Sean Cunningham for really kind of digging in on Malik Monk as far as asking the question. Malik answers the question, and Sean asks for some more. You know I'm always going to ride for the media. Since, some fans out there always want to say media needs to ask better questions. I'm always going to give, and I will say when that does need to be the case, but also I will give kudos to my peers out there that are doing their thing. So we're about to play that sound for you, and I do think it's a little telling, and we have to play it because I do think it is explained by a player. But let's get to what Malik has done so far, what he did over the weekend. Friday against Memphis, he had a season-high 30 points, a season-high 6 made three-pointers. I believe that was after scoring or going 0 from the three-point line in the previous game. He scored a season-high 17 in the first half as part of the Kings' season-high 78 points. In the Kings of the fourth quarter, Fox, DeRozan, Monk scored all 36 points. Then last night against Golden State, he had a career-high 12 assists to go along with 26 points, 5 made threes, 3 steals, and a block, and an absurd career-high plus 41 in 29 minutes. Just think, he might have got to about 16 assists, something crazy like that if he had played the whole game, and he didn't even play in the fourth quarter. So he posted a first-half double-double, 16 points, 10 assists, with a career-high plus 33 in 17 minutes. We talked about how he was in the same conversation with LeBron with his stat line last night. No one else did it in a shorter amount of time than LeBron James in the history of the NBA. So looking at the results from all that, 57 points in the last 2 games on 59% shooting, 11 for 20 from the three-point line, 19 assists, 4 steals, plus 45 in 60 minutes. He scored or assisted on 44% of Kings baskets during 7 quarters of play. So before I ask this question that I really want to ask, here is a snippet of the Malik Monk post game and what he had to say when he was asked about Mike Brown.
I think everything contagious is what we do because we're so close as a team. So if I'm hitting shots, don't mind hitting shots, everybody hitting shots. If I'm passing the ball, getting in, spraying it out, everybody's doing it. So I try to go in there and do it just to get everybody involved.
Defensively, you guys created a lot of turnovers and scored off those turnovers. What were you seeing, especially in that first half, that kind of led to some of those turnovers?
Devin and Keon guarding Steph as good as they did. Of course, he's going to get his points. He's one of the greatest shooters ever, so he's going to get his. But they did a great job of limiting him. So I think that's why we got to win.
Malik, kind of following up on that, you guys haven't had the best first quarter of the season. You come out of this game was 36, but you hold it to 17. I thought that was really the key, setting that defensive tone early. How important, from a player standpoint, is doing that? Just shut them down, let them know we're coming at you all day.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we've been struggling with, hitting people first. And I think that's what we did. Like you said, I think we did that first in the first quarter. And that set the tone for sure. But kudos to Devin and Keon doing a great job on Steph. Just limiting him. Like I said, you're not going to stop him. He's too great for that. So they just did a great job of limiting him.
What do you see with that? I mean, you had kind of a front row seat to Keon taking that hit. That first one, I remember saw you kind of talking to Dre a little bit. What do you see on both of those plays?
Draymond being Draymond. It's a physical game. He's gonna be physical, and if he gonna do anything to get his team pumped up, involved. And if that's hitting somebody hard on the screen, he'll do it. But yeah, that's just Draymond. Basketball, we love it.
Yeah. Since you've been here, you've had a little bit of a history with this team, with the Warriors in the playoff series. To have a 30-point win without Fox, it's the second largest in franchise history. I mean, just what does that say about things rolling right now?
That we bought into what DC doing. We all just bought into it right now, and we all feel good and confident in what he's saying. He's a player. He played before, so I think he knows how to say it to us a little better than people that didn't play the game before. So that's all I feel like.
I'm trying not to do it. Great stuff from Malik Monk, but the way that ended. And again, shout out to Sean Cunningham for digging deeper on that question, because Malik Monk says, yeah, we're bought into what DC's telling us. And Sean Cunningham said, well, can you put it into words what that is? And Malik says he played the game, so the way he's telling us things that we bought into what DC is doing, we all just bought into him. We all feel good and confident in what he is saying. He is a player. He played before, so I think he knows how to say it to us a little better than people that didn't play the game before. That's all I feel like. Now, again, we don't know the details of it. Maybe it's just more relaxed, right? Maybe it's less of a science, if you will. What do they keep saying when the Kings are getting interviewed? Things are simplified, right? And look, Mike Brown has coached in this league for years. He's coached some of the best players to ever play the game. But there is a conversation about things just not resonating the same way. And maybe with this specific group, stopped resonating. It was resonating a couple of years ago when they were the Beam team. It resonated a little bit last season. They still got into the 9 seed, and they did that with injuries. But you have to be flexible. You have to be dynamic in this world, in this business. And things change. And I got to give kudos to Amani McNair and Mr. Vivek. Maybe it's too early to give kudos, but 4-1, you know what, dang it, I'll give kudos now because it looked bleak. And the Kings have now turned things around. They still haven't made a move, but they've turned things around to where they can at least be a part of the postseason. They're at least in that conversation. Things were going south, okay, in a hurry. So I do believe that it seems like the right move was made. It seems like they are reacting to what Doug Christie is saying. Is it going to last? 46 games left. Is it going to last? That remains to be seen. But as of right now, I would say that it does feel like the right move was made. Based on, not even based on the results, to be honest, based on what we're hearing from the players. We didn't know, and shout out to the team for keeping it all under wraps. But clearly, and Malik Monk, I remember this. I think it was before Malik Monk re-signed. It was towards the end of the season. And somebody asked the question, how do you feel like Mike Brown has helped you showcase something to the effect of, how do you feel that Mike Brown helped you get your game to a certain level? And Malik Monk said, well, I don't think he necessarily helped me get there. I think he helped me showcase it, right? And when he first said that, I didn't take it as a dig on Mike Brown, and I still don't. But I do feel like it opened my eyes to maybe the lack of credit that maybe the team was giving to Mike Brown for their success. And that then turns into, are they being held back? Was Malik Monk being held back? We all, I don't want to say we all, but a lot of us understood, even if you didn't agree with it, yeah, I will say it. I think we all understood Mike Brown's thought process in Malik Monk coming off the bench. you didn't have to agree with it, but I think we all understood the thought process. And even now, some people still think that Malik Monk needs to come off the bench because of the lack of scoring. Now, on a night like last night, where Kevin Huerter is scoring the basketball and Trey Lyles being this new version of Trey Lyles, then Malik can be a starter. But when it was bleak on the bench, I understood why Mike Brown was kind of caught up on Malik coming off the bench. We understood it even if we didn't agree with it. But now it starts to look, now with every soundbite, not even with every win, with every soundbite, it feels like they're starting to be more comfortable saying, yeah, things actually weren't that great. And I think it's just eye-opening for me. And I think a lot of people, we can compartmentalize how things were done, not agree with how the Kings organization moved on from Mike Brown. But clearly there was something, and the De'Aaron Fox thing, De'Aaron Fox had love for Mike Brown. But clearly, every time these guys open their mouths, they are telling us, they are trying to tell us, yeah, things weren't great with Mike. And I think we just got to listen to them and take their word for it. Even if they don't win another game, it doesn't necessarily matter to me, because Mike Brown, his voice was, and Dave joked about this a couple of weeks ago, womp, 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 like Charlie Brown. It just wasn't resonating anymore. So they had to make a move.
Yeah, you brought up a really great point there, and I'd love to talk about it more on the other side. But at the same time, I think it's really interesting that Malik Monk, when he got to Sacramento, was probably about as skilled of a player as he is right now. But it was that he had been bounced around in Charlotte with the instability and getting slapped on the head by Michael Jordan. He ended up on the Lakers, but it was the year that the Lakers got Westbrook, and that was just a terrible situation to walk into. He got a lot of playing time, but just a toxic kind of locker room situation there. So I think I understand that sentiment. I didn't remember the quote that you brought up, and that was a really interesting window into what Malik Monk was feeling, especially when at the time I think he thought, and we all thought, he wasn't going to come back and play for Mike Brown this season.
Yeah, so again, and I'm thinking now of Malik, you're going to make me lose my top and all this stuff that, I think we can live in a world where Mike Brown, there were parts of Mike Brown that I think the team really liked, but I think there were other parts and something that just was missing, and they keep on trying to tell us this. So I think it's time we listen. And shout out to Tony Harvey. You're going to see Tony tonight. Tony Harvey, who's been covering the Kings for years, he asked Malik that question. Tony's in the Sac chat right now. So shout out, Tony. Great question, Tony. That's right. We got to defend the media out here. Great stuff, Tony. All right, on the other side, we continue the conversation as we talk about whether or not the Kings can keep this rolling. There is another story, a new story out about the bidding for Cam Johnson. Do you still want to make a move? Is it still necessary? Or could the Kings just keep playing better? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Heat. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Come on. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 L's in my bank account. If it's the Warriors, though. It's the Warriors, though. Like the beam, though.
Light the
beam, though.
Light it!
As a story came out.
Damn beam.
Yeah, I know you do, Draymond.
I hate that damn beam.
I know you do, Draymond.
I hate that damn beam. Light the beam!
Light it.
Light the beam! Light it!
So the Warriors are looking for answers, and they didn't find any last night. And this article came out January 4th, so before the shellacking. And this was from Marcus Thompson and Sam Amick. Sam Amick just never stops working.
Oh, and our boy Slater Scoops.
And yes, and Slater. I see that. So it was a 3-team party on this one.
A 3-team athletic group chat.
Just that's how bad it is for the Warriors.
An athletic group project.
Yeah, and the name of the article or the title says why the Warriors aren't likely to pursue Jimmy Butler before the NBA trade deadline. So we don't really care about that, but what we do care about is a portion of the article that says this, and here's the quote. Cam Johnson is one of the hottest current names on the market. He'd fill a need as an extra shooting wing who could fit in versatile lineup combinations and also makes a reasonable $22.5 million this season, plus $20.5 million and $22.5 million the next 2 seasons. But Brooklyn's price tag has been steep, and there are other teams like the Sacramento Kings and the Oklahoma City Thunder that appear in hotter pursuit. So there is a lot of smoke here with Cam Johnson, and it feels like, with the connections with Jordy now and the connection that they have between the Nets, feels like they want to get something done. But if you ever been to a flea market or somewhere or a pawn shop, something like that, both sides, or if you watch Shark Tank, both sides are kind of stuck on, well, I need 15%. Hey, I'll give you $1.5 million for 7% of your company. But hey, I only want to give up 5% of my company. And they're just stuck and neither side is moving. And it seems like that sticking point, according to Mark Stein, is a Devin Carter. Now, I would assume, and we don't know this for sure, but it's Devin Carter or a first. I can't imagine. I guess
I don't know
possible,
about that.
but I guess it's possible it's specifically Devin Carter. But I feel like the Nets would say, okay, we can't do Devin Carter, but we'll give you a first. It's hard for me to see the Nets saying no to that. My guess is that it's something of that extra first round pick or Devin Carter where the Kings are saying that's too much.
Well, I think it's that first round pick with what protections, right? Because if it's a lottery, what the Nets are banking on in their giant rebuild where they already have a ton of picks, a lot of them their own, is that one of those Kings picks lands in the lottery and they get a top pick out of it and an impact player, right? I think that's the bigger thing is it might be another first round pick, but if it's top 20 protected or lottery protected,
right?
What does that do for Brooklyn?
Exactly.
It's just a piece. They would rather have the tangible Devin Carter than a 9th grader that we can't even land in the lottery.
Especially now with, as much as it matters, a lot of NBA circles saying Devin Carter was always going to be the seal of the draft. And with his start looking like he easily could be that. Now, still early, but this is what NBA circles are saying. So a lot of people are chiming in here on the Sack Chat, on the text line, and the call line as well, just as far as, well, if you get into a bidding war with the Oklahoma City Thunder, you're going to lose.
That's the thing, is we can debate Devin Carter versus a lottery-protected 2029 first, and it goes out the door, because at that flea market, you know who just strolled in? A guy in a 3-piece suit.
Exactly.
That's who just strolled into the flea market. Carson Cunningham, who does some stuff out in Oklahoma City, screenshotted this graphic that was on NBA TV this weekend. The Thunder going forward in 2025 have 4 first-round picks, 0 seconds. This year, they have 4 first-round picks. Next year, 2 second-round picks, 2 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks. 2027, 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks. It goes on and on and on. But the long and the short is, over the next 4 years, the Thunder have 13 first-round picks and 15 seconds. The Sacramento Kings have 4 first-rounders and 3 seconds that they can trade the next 4 years. That's 9 more first-round picks for the Thunder and 12 more second-round picks that they have to work with.
Well, I think that might go to your point as far as what the Nets want back, because if it's a matter of picks, then why isn't this deal already done for the Thunder, right? So go ahead.
I'll give you, I think you're alluding to this, which is the answer, which is making the money work. The Oklahoma City Thunder are currently on a 13-game winning streak, or unless it got broken this weekend, I don't remember, but they were on a 13-game winning streak. And in order to make the deal happen, they're going to have to part with one of their 8 or 9 rotational guys just to make the money work. I looked it up this weekend. It's either they got to trade Lou Dort or they got to trade Aaron Wiggins, both of whom are getting significant run. Dort obviously is kind of that defensive starter for them, and Aaron Wiggins is getting like 20 minutes off the bench. But if you've won 13 games in a row, how do you go to that locker room and say, hey, this guy who's been an instrumental piece, we're getting rid of him and we're bringing in someone else?
Yeah, to me, it's first of all, I'm just annoyed with the Thunder. You have enough wings, okay? Just go away. Why are you even in this conversation? You have enough pieces. You're rolling right now. Why are we even doing this? And if you are going to do it, why hasn't the deal happened yet? And as far as Devin Carter is concerned, we had the conversation earlier whether or not I would include Devin Carter in it. If it's, what is it, to make that money? If it's the same old thing we've been talking about, Trey Lyles, Kevin Huerter, and Devin Carter for Cam Johnson. Yeah, I mean, now that Trey Lyles is playing better and Devin Carter is on the court, yeah, now that feels like too much. But did that feel like too much 2 weeks ago? Absolutely not.
Which is what, well, no, I would say the combo felt like too much. The Huerter-Lyles package didn't feel like too much.
Sure, but that's not enough for the Nets.
Sure. And then it gets into that same, what about a 2029 lottery-protected first-round pick instead of a 2029 unprotected first? You know, it just gets into that whole conversation again, which, again, doesn't matter if you're bidding against the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's just do the Thunder value Cam Johnson more than the Kings? Because if they do, they're getting Cam Johnson.
530 says Kuzma is better than Cam Johnson on defense and near the same on offense. Look at the stats. Yeah, I think Kuzma has had a kind of rough PR run, if you will. And this season, he just has been injured a bit. He's on the Wizards. I thought that last season was probably the season that the Wizards should have moved Kyle Kuzma, and they're probably regretting it. And I think that the Nets don't want to regret this with Cam Johnson. Let's not forget, Cam Johnson also rolled that ankle. So does that change how much the Nets want to play with fate here, as they have, some version of a lottery ticket with Cam Johnson the way he's been playing? They did well on cashing in Dennis Schroeder, because Dennis Schroeder is not playing anything like he was playing with the Nets, and that's always something scary, right? You can't just assume that this player is going to continue to play the best basketball of his life in a different city, on a different team, in different circumstances, with different expectations that quickly. So if I'm the Nets, I think something gets done. So there's going to be a lot of posturing on both sides. And as teams keep winning, they're thinking, hey man, we're kind of rolling right now, Nets. We don't necessarily need to give up the house for Cam Johnson. So I do think a deal gets done soon. I don't know with who, and I hope it does get done, because again, I was so happy when you brought up DeAndre Hunter, Kyle, and just other players, because this Cam Johnson thing has just been dragging on and on. Are you just do it and be done with it, or just move on? I'm tired of all these articles.
It's this year's version of Matisse Thybulle, or 2 years ago's version of Kyle Kuzma.
You could even argue, I think it's been going on longer, but remember Pascal Siakam last season?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That one was tiring.
So many worthless conversations.
Tiring.
The Raptors came to Sacramento and people were like, they are ironing out deal. Oh my God, that was so annoying. I blocked that out of my mind. It was so annoying.
Pascal is not, don't let him get on the plane. Well, he got on the plane.
He got on the plane. People were like, we can't trade Keegan Murray. And then the next day we have to trade Keegan Murray. I hated that so much.
And that's what this is right now. All right, the return of Keegan Murray Could that be what the Kings are missing? Let's talk about it. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
Tom's Watch Bar has the best happy hour in Sacramento, starting with $5 specials all day, every day. Plus select $7 appetizers and $12 entrees with 360-degree viewing and game day vibes that match being at the game. Tom's Watch Bar is the ultimate game day experience for sports fans. Start the year strong at InShape Fitness. Play basketball, try yoga or Pilates, or work with their personal trainers to create a happy new you. And look for Sacktown Sports Team before the next Kings game to grab your free Kings InShape Rally Towel. Join today at InShape.com. We are in shape. You are ready.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back January 16th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Just once a year, NorCal's largest gathering for anglers, hunters, boaters, RVers, and off-roading enthusiasts. Buy the latest gear, discover the best destinations, and check out the all-new, fully redesigned Toyota Land Cruiser. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 16th through 19th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? It seems impossible to find them. Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado now at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Now available special financing leases and other offers.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Talking about the same old suspects with Cam Johnson, Kyle Kuzma. 209 says, is it possible that since OKC is a Western Conference opponent, they are just driving up the Price picks to hamstring everyone else in their conference? It's possible. It's possible. It reminds me of, you watch a movie or something like that, and there's a bidding war going on, right? And you're going back and forth. You're at an auction, and the main character wants something from the auction. Let me get a two. Let me get a two for $3,000. Two for $3,000. We have $4 for $4,000. $4 for $4,000. We got $5,000. $5 for $5,000. $5 for $5,000. And then somebody walks in. $1 million. That's Oklahoma City Thunder, and they have the ability to do that. And Kyle, you kind of highlighted why they haven't done that, because not that they can't, but even OKC would have to get rid of somebody just from a money standpoint. They have the assets outside of money, but just the money standpoint, you don't want to move off of Lou Dort. You don't want to move off of Aaron Wiggins. They just got too much talent. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I know. It's gelling so well, and they have the number one defense in the NBA, and they're going to win the championship.
They don't need Cam Johnson.
No, I mean,
so to that point, what the texts are saying, they could be onto something.
No, I think they do need Cam Johnson. If you had to pinpoint a flaw with Oklahoma City, it is the fact that since Chet Holmgren has gone out, they've been doing the alternating Kenrich Williams and the other Jalen Williams, the not good Jalen Williams that I thought wasn't on the team anymore. So, like, when Hartenstein and Holmgren come back, I don't think their vision is that they're going to both start together.
Right.
So therefore, Dort's their starting four right now. Dort brings you great defensive production, but not great offensive production. Do they value Cam Johnson more than Lou Dort? That's kind of the question. Do you see that as an upgrade?
I do, and I also think that with Alex Caruso now on the squad, Lou Dort is more expendable than maybe he was last season.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the conversation Oklahoma City is having right now. And again, like I said, I don't think it's to the texter's point, I don't think it's Oklahoma City driving up the market, because the problem with that is, say you just keep throwing in second round picks. Well, at a certain point, everyone's going to drop out. And so they're like, okay, we're taking your deal. And maybe you feel like you overpaid for Cam Johnson. Now, I think OKC's in a position where they can be okay overpaying for something, but we know Sam Presti. He's had all these draft picks for 4 years, almost 5 years now, because we're going on 6 years because the Paul George trade was 2019. He's had all these draft picks for going on 6 years now. And apart from one time where he traded 3 picks to get, I think it was Dieng, which hasn't worked out great for them, he hasn't really traded any of the picks at all. He's just kind of kicked the can down the road, saying it will help us eventually.
So we'll see what happens there with the Kings and the Oklahoma City Thunder, as they both are trying to get Cam Johnson, and Cam Johnson's just trying to get back on the court after tweaking that ankle. As far as who the Kings do have on their roster, how about the return of some of our favorites who have been hot and cold in certain moments? You had Kevin Huerter with 16 points last night, and Keegan Murray with 11. Keegan Murray, 26 minutes, coming back from his injury, 26 minutes, 4 of 11 from the field, 3 of 8 from three-point range, 4 rebounds. Yeah, I would be careful. Prop talk later. I'd be careful with Keegan Murray and those rebounding props, because they're about to drop due to Devin Carter's ability to rebound the basketball. So Keegan Murray with 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He was a plus 10. And the biggest thing for me as far as Keegan Murray is concerned is just his confidence. And that confidence, I believe, because of the familiarity that the Kings have with the Warriors. They played them 18 times last season. Keegan Murray just feels more comfortable. It almost feels, it's obviously not a scrimmage, but it feels like a high level scrimmage where it's, oh yeah, we're playing the dudes from down the street that we play all the time. Right. And it is somewhere between the familiarity of a scrimmage from that team. For me, I went to St. Francis, 7th, 8th grade. We would play St. Agnes all the time. St. Agnes, some of the same teams that you see, St. Bonaventure, and you're just used to those guys. You know what they have, they know what you have, and you kind of just rock and roll from there. I'm talking CYO back in the day, and that's how it feels. You're comfortable with these guys. It's a lot different than playing teams that you're just not as used to playing. And Keegan Murray, if he can feel this confident and feel this comfortable against other teams, that would be huge for the Sacramento Kings. Kevin Huerter. When is the last time we saw Kevin Huerter put on a performance like this? He had been not shooting the basketball well and not shooting the basketball at all. I think the issue is you see Kevin Huerter with 20 minutes, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 6 from three-point range, 16 points. What happens when De'Aaron Fox returns? Keegan Murray just doesn't tend to look the same. Kevin Huerter, this should have no bearing really on Kevin Huerter. I know it's not that black and white, but Kevin Huerter, you're coming off the bench now. Why can't we get you're still playing your 20-ish minutes a game? Why can't we get a similar version of this production? Why do things change so much? You know, both these guys, Kevin Huerter has a quick release, not so much Keegan Murray, but both these guys, they get moved off their spot and they just don't shoot. Last night, Kevin Huerter was still shooting even when he got moved off of his spot. Kevin Huerter would catch it, pump fake, do one dribble, step back, pop, lock, and drop it. What we've seen from Kevin Huerter in the past is he gets it, pump fakes, the guy doesn't go for the pump fake, and he either dribbles and passes it out or just passes it out. And that's not what we saw last night. We saw Kevin Huerter not afraid. We saw Kevin Huerter shooting off the dribble, off that one dribble step back. We had not seen that in a very long time.
Every time he does that one dribble step back, I cringe because I'm trained to believe that's a bad shot. And for Kevin, that's like his go-to shot. And it's like I have to keep training myself every time. I'm like, no, bad shot. And then he hits it.
Yeah, and I think that's what's interesting is because maybe if a De'Aaron Fox is on the floor, he doesn't take that shot. And honestly, he hasn't. So when Kevin's looking around this lineup and it's Kevin, Keon, Devin Carter, if you will, maybe Domantas Sabonis, who's down there trying to dig out rebounds, and somebody else who's not a premier scorer, Kevin feels okay taking that shot. But when it's De'Aaron Fox on the floor with him, I think Kevin, I don't think confidence is the right word, but he just struggles with understanding, okay, that's still a good shot for me to take. And to Kyle's point, maybe typically that's, historically that's not a great shot, but those are the types of shots that Kevin is going to have to get off if he wants to get shots off. So, it's not very often he's going to, especially in this offense right now, when Kevin walks in to the gym, everyone knows he's there to shoot the three ball. So if you want to get your shots up, there's not going to be a lot of breaks in defenses where people just forget about him. Now they happen. I do believe I saw him hit at least one wide open shot. You got to hit those too. But Kevin has to be a little bit more aggressive. And Keegan Murray, same thing. Keegan Murray, a lot of these pump fakes, they kill me. They absolutely kill me because it does absolutely nothing. Unless you get somebody in the air and then you go to the rack. And Keegan's not doing that either. So last night, what did Keegan do? He doesn't have as quick of a release as Kevin Huerter, but he doesn't have a slow release. So Keegan, you just have to understand what you want to do. You have to make your decisions quickly. You have to play with a purpose. And last night, I know 11 points. I'm not sitting here saying Keegan scored 20, 25 points, but Keegan played with a purpose. I'm going to get my shots up when they make sense. Kevin Huerter played with a purpose. What we're looking at here is just a team that's doing their job. They're just doing their job. And if they continue to do their job, they're going to continue to win basketball games. That's all it is. Just sit there and do your job. And they were not doing their job in the games past when they were struggling. Keegan Murray was doing his job defensively, not so much offensively. You're not asking for much. Get to double digits, Keegan, more often than not. Just a couple threes a game to keep the defense honest. That's all the Kings need. And Kevin Huerter, a couple threes a game, a couple shots a game. Keep that defense honest. So that's exactly what we're seeing from the Sacramento Kings so far. 1 o'clock, we will have our Heat versus Kings preview, but we do want to preview the NFL playoffs as they are all set. What are you looking forward to watching Wild Card Weekend? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Heat. King Night with Scott Marsh on the High Flyer. Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings. Sactown Sports, 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Got our Kings preview coming up about 1 o'clock, but the NFL playoffs, NFL is king, and the NFL playoffs are set. I got to admit, look, I'm going to go very first world problems here, but with the Kings playing, and I know there are a couple other NBA games, the West Coast games, the next level, if YouTube is going to charge what they went up another $10, whatever it is, if YouTube is going to charge that, the next stage in multi-view is to be able to have your choice of personal game, whatever it is, right? Just other NBA games.
Yeah, not just their pre-packaged ones.
Yes, mix, and they'll let you mix and mingle with all NFL, but I need to be able to have Kings on one half and Lions Vikings on the other, because I didn't catch a lot of the Lions Vikings game because the Kings were playing the Warriors.
You say let them mingle. You mean, do you have Sunday Ticket?
I have Sunday Ticket.
Okay, because I'm like, I know they have the technology because Sunday Ticket, you can do that.
Yes, you can do that on Sunday Ticket, but I need to be able to add, okay, Kings are playing, Vikings, Lions are playing. Let me split that screen up because I think there was one timeout in the Kings game where I went to check out Vikings, Lions, watched whatever happened. There wasn't much, but early on, watched a drive, forgot I was on Vikings, Lions, and then they went to commercial and remembered that, oh, shoot, I'm not on the Kings game. So then I had to go back to the Kings game, rewind. Again, first world problems, but that's what's next for YouTube. If you're going to be charging like this, then that's what we need.
We also get MLB Network.
Yes. On the text line, someone says second TV. Yeah, sometimes I'll go with my laptop. I didn't care that much. So I was more enthralled by the Kings Warriors, but yeah, most of the time I'll go laptop.
I guess my thinking was either the Kings game is going to be over with a whole fourth quarter still to play because basketball games are faster, or the Kings game will be so bad that I can just switch over and watch football. And it turned out the football game was the one that sucked, which I did not expect. But then again, Sam Darnold hits January, and those ghosts start popping out again.
Yeah, technically, it did that. Both games stunk. If you were a fan of the Warriors, so
the rare Warriors Vikings combo fan.
I'm sure they're out there because Warriors fans, they pop up.
Yeah, it was that little kid. That little kid was a Warriors and Vikings fan, and now he's a Kings and Lions fan.
He's Kings and Lions fan. We were still looking for that kid, trying to get him on the show because that was ridiculous. If you didn't see during the game, great job on the Kings broadcast, NBC Sports California. They caught a kid. He had on a Warriors jersey, and they caught him putting on Domantas Sabonis' jersey on top of the Warriors jersey. And it's perfect because the screenshot has the score as the Warriors are down by 30. So that's what we're dealing with here with these Warrior fans. They're crazy. So that we're going to see them again in a couple weeks. We'll see if it's the same team that we faced last night. All right, getting into these NFL playoffs. So the Lions take care of business. Waiting for it to drop. Lions take care of business. They get the number 1 seed. Vikings did not look good at all. So you're looking at the Lions with a bye in the NFC, the Chiefs with a bye in the AFC. Some of these matchups, by the way, number 7 Packers at number 2 Eagles. Jalen Hurts is still in concussion protocol.
But now Jordan Love is hurt too.
Yeah, Jordan Love with an elbow thing. So, and I took him on my daily fantasy, and he cooked me.
Their number 1 receiver, Christian Watson, it just announced tore his ACL yesterday.
Yeah, that wasn't great. I watched it all for ulterior motives, and that was not great for anybody that is a fan of the Packers.
So what you're telling me is Malik Willis versus Tanner McKee.
Just how they drew it up. The Commanders, as the number 6 seed, taking on the number 3 Bucks. I'm very intrigued by that game. I'm intrigued with Packers-Eagles if the guys actually play, the starters actually play, the quarterbacks. Commanders, Bucks, I think will be a lot of fun. The other NFC game, Vikings-Rams, I couldn't call it.
Best friends head-to-head, Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay, best friends battling it out.
Are we doing the Rams dark horse sexy pick thing again?
No.
Okay, can we not do that?
I will say, since they got healthy, I think they are like 9-2 since they got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back, but I would take both the Lions and the Eagles over them. I do think the Rams are going to win this game, but if they have to play the Lions, I don't think that's going to go as well for them.
In the AFC, the Chiefs, the number 1 seed, the number 7 Broncos who won, and they were in. Some people were saying it was unfair to the Bengals that the Broncos got to play a Chiefs team that just sat everyone. Well, it's not unfair. This is what happens when you lose games that you shouldn't lose. So, and funny enough, I saw this. That Patriots-Bengals game, first week, destroyed everyone's parlays, destroyed everyone's survival leagues, and ended up destroying both of their seasons. Patriots, because they won that game,
that's great.
Messes up their draft order, and Bengals, because they lost that game, end up missing the playoffs. Now, obviously, you can't necessarily assume all those things, but for the fun of it, we will.
I forgot about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Next on the list, you have the Steelers at the Ravens. one thing to keep in mind, really bizarre play. The Steelers have been awful, but really bizarre play with the Ravens as the 3 seed. Zay Flowers got his knee knocked. It wasn't non-contact, got his knee knocked. I don't believe he returned to that game. Ravens still won, but I'm really high on Zay Flowers. I think he could be a diet Tyreek Hill. I think he could dang near be in that category at some point. He's kind of represents the new receiver in those shifty, smaller guys. I know he's smaller than even the small receivers these days, but that's a huge, if he can't go, Zay Flowers, that's big for the Ravens.
Yeah, and I got bad news for the Ravens.
What did it end up being?
I think he's going to try and go next week, but I didn't see exactly what the injury was. Bad news for the Ravens, though, is that they drew the Steelers, because I love this stat so much that Lamar Jackson against every non-Kansas City and Pittsburgh team would have the greatest winning percentage in the history of the NFL as a quarterback. But against Kansas City and Pittsburgh, he's like 4-10 in his career. So he's drawing Pittsburgh in the first round, and if they win, there's a good chance they'll play Buffalo in the next round. And then after that, he would have to go to Arrowhead for the AFC Championship game. Baltimore might make it through, but Jesus, that is a gauntlet.
Yeah, there's definitely an NBA comparison with Lamar, with just a guy who's going to have all the accolades and win, but just is during a time where you got Patrick Mahomes, obviously. We'll see, because you could say the same thing about Josh Allen, but one of these guys in the AFC, whether it's Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar, is one of them going to get a ring in the Patrick Mahomes era?
I'm going to say yes, but I think they're all going to kind of split it up kind of thing. It's like they're all going to get their one, but it's only going to be one for each of them, which is going to be the weird thing where we look back on their career. I do think Lamar's eventually going to get it done. Honestly, I know I'm a Kansas City guy. I think Josh Allen's going to get it done this year. Season. And I think they're all probably going to win one, and then we're not going to know what to do with it at the end.
So you have number 6 Steelers at number 3 Ravens. Steelers doing their Steeler thing where they come back to earth. And I think, Kyle, the numbers you just said, could easily change as far as the Ravens losing to the Steelers, because Lamar doesn't play well against the Steelers. But I would still like the Ravens. We'll do our predictions at the end of the week, but I still like the Ravens there, even with no Zay Flowers, but we'll see if he tries to go.
It's going to be the game of the week that no one's going to watch because it's on Amazon Prime.
And last but not least, Chargers at Texans, 2 teams nobody knows what to do with.
No, I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. The Chargers are going to lose this game in the most embarrassing way you can think of. It happens. There are only 2 types of Chargers seasons, and I know I'm a former Chargers fan. There's only 2 kinds of Chargers seasons, the ones that are laughably embarrassing from the start, or the ones that end in the most laughably embarrassing way you can think of. So, the Texans are going to probably win this game, but it's going to be more so the Chargers are going to do something dumb.
Well, I mean, this is the Chargers under Jim Harbaugh, so maybe it'll be a little bit different.
One thing I do want to bring up from this game that I think is so funny, some Texans fans were circulating this on Twitter, that the Texans have now played in 8 wildcard weekends, going back to 2012, which I think was J.J. Watt's rookie season. Every single wildcard weekend, they have played the 1:30 Saturday game for all 8. They have played 1:30 p.m. on Saturday for every single wildcard game.
Yeah.
It's like 2011, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2019, 2020. 2023 last year, and now 2024. They play that same damn time slot every single time. It's like them or the Colts are always 1:30 on Wild Card Weekend as the 4th.
Just get it over with. And last but not least, we have the finalized draft order. The Titans go number 1, the Browns number 2, and the Browns are obviously, because of all the money, they're going to rework Deshaun Watson's contract but Deshaun Watson will be back in Cleveland. Number 3, the Giants. Number 4, Patriots. Number 5, Jaguars. Number 6, Raiders. So Raiders do bump up a little bit after accidentally winning a couple weeks ago.
And the Jets accidentally winning Aaron Rodgers' last game.
Yeah, Jets number 7, Panthers 8, Saints 9, Bears 10, and 49ers 11. So a lot of teams took care of business the way they were supposed to. A lot of teams did not. We have plenty of time to talk about the NFL draft, but that's how things will shake out. Let's get to our Kings Heat preview on the other side. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Fisher Investments. We may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery from the law firm of Gingery, Hammer & Associates. When you have been injured by the fault of another, you will want advice you can trust. If you know an attorney you can trust, I hope you call that person. But if you don't, please call me. I promise I will be the attorney you can trust, along with my entire team. I have been helping accident survivors recover compensation for their injuries for 25 years, and we can help you. There is no charge for calling. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Get huge year-end savings on the all-new 2025 Silverado. Now at Maida Chevy.
With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on select new 2025 half-ton Silverado LT and RST.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area.
$8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big. Huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Now available with special financing, leasing, some of the offers.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
It's going down tonight. Fat Man Scoop, Timberlane. You got served, man. I used to be doing my thing that you got served. Allen Stiles Show.
Served what?
Stop it. Allen Stiles Show, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. One more hour with you, 3 down, 1 to go. It's time to preview your Sacramento Kings taking on the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat dealing with so much drama as it pertains to Jimmy Butler. We're not moving Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's agent. We don't want to leave Miami. A couple weeks later, we want to leave Miami. Now Jimmy Butler is suspended for 7 games for conduct detrimental to the team. I believe I read the NBA Players Association is going to file some type of grievance against the Miami Heat because basically, do you have a good enough reason to suspend Jimmy Butler? So it's a mess. Tyler Hero has been playing really well. He's a guy who I think is untouchable for the Miami Heat, especially with Jimmy Butler seemingly on his way out. By the way, and this does connect to the Miami Heat. Bradley Beal's agent has just come out, and Bradley Beal's agent listed teams that he would be willing to play for.
Oh, wait. Hold up. So you're saying is publicly, or is this just in a report?
This is from his
actual agent saying this out loud.
This is hold on. This is coming from I believe directly his agent, and I'm breaking it down here. The report is this is from a report from Arizona Sports 98.7 in Phoenix.
Oh, our sister station.
Yes, and they are reporting that he would waive his no trade clause for the Lakers, the Nuggets, or the Miami Heat. So that is the report.
Oh, that's it?
That is the report.
Oh,
so
gosh.
Kyle, we let's try to get our sister station on the line tomorrow and have that conversation, because the Heat now could facilitate a deal where Jimmy Butler goes to the Suns. I mean, real quick, how many stars is Kevin Durant? Is he trying to break a record
for star teammates to play?
I mean, this is actually insane. If Kevin Durant, no, Bradley Beal, he doesn't work. Give me Jimmy Butler. I mean, this is crazy.
Dude, I cannot believe it's come to this for both of these teams, considering last I checked, both of them were in the finals like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like the Heat were in the finals 18 months ago, and the Suns were in the finals 3 years ago. I cannot believe how much they've thrown these teams out. But I'm also going to put a pause right there, Mr. Stiles, because this weekend, Miami Heat kind of made it clear we don't want Bradley Beal. So any trade we make with the Suns, we're going to have to reroute to another team. So Miami has kind of taken their name out of the Bradley Beal running. So
smart.
Maybe Beal doesn't want to go to the Heat, but the Heat don't really, or Bradley Beal does want to go there, but the Heat don't really want him. So
yeah,
Lakers and Nuggets it is, which the Nuggets, they could do worse.
The Nuggets could do worse. I think
Michael Porter Jr., Miami Heat.
Yeah, I think the issue is Michael Malone has already been upset with the defense from the Nuggets, but I think the Nuggets, they need another scorer, right? And Jamal Murray, for as good as he is, it's the being dependable thing that kind of gets you with Jamal Murray. So I think the Nuggets would be interested. I think the Nuggets are in a position where it's malpractice. If it doesn't matter, Michael Porter Jr., whoever it is, the Nuggets, that's what I say when I go back and forth with Warrior fans. And the Warriors, yeah, a bigger market than Denver, but you shouldn't really care about your future. It doesn't really matter what the Nuggets' future is past Nikola Jokic. Nobody cares. So you need to just do whatever you think is the best thing to do in order to get the most out of Nikola Jokic. He is once in a generation. So you might like Michael Porter Jr., you might like Christian Brown, you might like some of these guys. Everybody's got to be on the table. Now, am I a big Bradley Beal guy? No. But the Nuggets do need more scoring. I mean, Jokic at the beginning of the season, he said they cannot shoot. Yeah. They can't shoot. So
well, they could against the Kings, but
they could against the Kings, but a lot of people can against the Kings. So that's the issue right now with the Nuggets. So maybe that happens and Bradley Beal to LA. I don't really know what to do with that.
I'm also looking up John Gambadoro, who is the great host over at Arizona Sports, is also breaking down the point that like those may be the teams on the no trade clause, but Bradley Beal could have gone to Milwaukee before all of this happened, and he said no. So he's been using the no trade clause pretty firmly about where he does or doesn't want to play, and he's able to do that. I just think it's crazy that I think it's crazy that the Suns are actively trying to make him pissed at them so that he will be willing to waive his no trade clause. That's just a crazy strategy for trying to turn your season around. Is instead of trying to fix it with Bradley Beal, is make him so upset that he's willing to waive his no trade clause to go to other places, which is a bold strategy.
And again, this has put a lot of things into perspective for me individually, and I'm sure for a lot of other Kings fans, because all this drama that we thought was happening with the Kings doesn't feel too drama-filled right now. If you really boil this thing down, hey, turns out the coach wasn't really resonating anymore, so let's move off of him. The Kings have been injured. Everybody has missed time for the Kings. Everybody in that rotation has missed time for the Kings. The coach's voice just wasn't resonating anymore, okay? When it comes to De'Aaron Fox, hey, De'Aaron Fox feels like he's given a lot to this organization, and he just feels like he needs more help before he commits long-term. You know, he's at the height of his career. He's about to enter his prime, and he's entering his prime right now. So De'Aaron Fox wants to make sure he enters his prime somewhere that makes sense. So De'Aaron Fox is just asking for a roster that will allow them to compete. So if you boil what the Kings have, I know it feels like there's been a lot of drama, but if you actually look at what has happened with the Kings, it's a lot more, it's a lot simpler than I think what we initially felt like just a couple weeks ago. You move on from Mike Brown. Now it turns out as guys feel more comfortable talking in his absence, turns out that Mike Brown's voice wasn't really resonating anymore. Okay, well, then they clear that out. Now you got the injury situation. De'Aaron Fox needs to get healthy. They haven't really been able to get everyone healthy, but a lot of teams haven't. But you get everybody, you get more guys on the court. You get a Trey Lyles healthy. You get Devin Carter back. Your roster is feeling more filled out. And last but not least, De'Aaron Fox, who hasn't asked out, but just said, hey, I'm actually giving you guys a heads up. You know, I'm giving you more time. I'm not coming out of the woodwork, and I'm not just showing up saying I want out. I'm giving you an opportunity because I want to stay. And you juxtapose that to what's going on in Miami with Jimmy Butler fighting with Pat Riley, and you don't want to make an enemy out of me, and Jimmy Butler now saying he wants his joy back. And then you throw in the Suns, who they can't keep their big three healthy, and now Bradley Beal doesn't want out, but kind of wants out because the Suns want him out because they want another guy because they haven't played well, and now he's been benched. So you look at what the Kings have dealt with, and I know it felt bleak at moments, but you look around at some of this other drama that's happening, and not every team has drama, but take a look at the Warriors. You know, I mean, we just saw them firsthand. You know, there's no drama as far as kind of guys wanting out, but there is clearly a disconnect between what they want to do and what they have to do, and them not knowing which is which or if they have to do either. So there is a lot of drama throughout the league. And I just think, and you know, that meme, the NBA has been overly dramatic for however many days in a row, and then the streak finally ends. All these teams, all these contending teams, the Nuggets, right? The Nuggets, Michael Malone, there was drama over the summer with, oh, well, nobody wants to play defense. He didn't want to get rid of KCP. And now they have, and they got rid of KCP. Are they going to get rid of Michael Porter Jr., who, you know, their young talent, how much do they believe in it? So all these teams outside of the Celtics, just because they're really good, so many, the Sixers, so all these teams are dealing with some type of drama. One team to keep an eye on, well, we don't know how long he'll play, but, you know, for the Clippers to keep their head above water, and now Kawhi returns, that's scary. You made the joke last week, and it's so true. The Clippers are always just good for that 5 seed. Man. Exactly. Just lock them in.
You know where the Clippers are going. It doesn't matter who's on the team. They're good for that 5 seed.
Yeah.
And Kawhi Leonard's going to have a knee injury either right before the playoffs, in the middle of the playoffs, or both. That seems to be the Clippers' run right now. Just pencil them in for the 5 seed. And you know who else is getting ready to jump into that drama head first? That would be the Memphis Grizzlies.
There you go.
Memphis Grizzlies are the new favorites to land Jimmy Butler after this weekend. And Brett Siegel kind of had the breakdown of it'll either be a trade package of Desmond Bane and Luke Kennard, or the more likely one, depends on whether the Heat want to do it, Marcus Smart, Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard, and John Concar.
Am I tripping, or, I mean, you're losing Desmond Bain, who can really shoot the 3-ball, and Luke Kennard in that first deal that you mentioned. Am I tripping, or won't there be spacing? You got Zach Edey. Your best 3-point shooter is Jaren Jackson?
Yeah, but that's why I think they'd probably do the Marcus Smart, Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard, John Concar deal. Sorry if I just say Marcus Smart with a Boston accent now, but yeah.
He's not even in Boston anymore.
I know, but it's just for years. He was always Marcus Smart. It's the funniest name to say for Boston. But anyways, those 4 players getting traded is probably the more likely one. It's just whether or not Miami wants
Yeah, I was going to say, does Miami want that?
I don't know what Miami wants, dude. Trying to figure out what Miami wants is truly impossible. Because once you don't give Jimmy the extension the offseason, what are we doing? Like, why did we bring him back? Why are we trying to make this thing work? I have no idea what Miami wants. I'm done guessing what they're going to do before the deadline.
So there are more teams entering the chat. And by the way, the Grizzlies are now the consensus, as Kyle mentioned, betting favorites to be Jimmy Butler's next team. This is from DraftKings Sportsbook. Grizzlies at plus 300, Suns at plus 400, Warriors at plus 450, Rockets at plus 500, and the Heat at plus 500. So the Grizzlies, they moved from plus 3,000 to plus 300 in 36 hours. And now they are ahead of Miami, and Evan Sidery is saying Vegas must know something is up. We shall see. I'm such not a huge Jimmy Butler fan. Grizzlies moving off of Desmond Bain, who they just gave that huge rookie extension to for a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler when Ja can't shoot.
But it wouldn't
go ahead.
It wouldn't be Desmond Bain. It would be the Brandon Clark, Luke Kennard.
But you don't know that. You just said that's one of the options.
Yeah, but if the Warriors aren't willing to trade Andrew Wiggins for Jimmy Butler, I don't think Desmond Bain is going to be traded tomorrow.
They better.
Jimmy Butler.
Please do it. Please do it.
Well, and if you're Miami, I mean, if you walk out of this entire chaos for Miami, where you were willing to let Jimmy Butler walk for nothing or hit free agency, daring him to call his bluff on the $52 million option, him making a mess out of it. If you walk out of this with Desmond Bain and Luke Kennard, whatever, if you walk out of it with Desmond
Bain, sleep on Luke.
Sure, whatever. They'll flip him to another team at some point.
Hopefully the Kings.
But if you walk out of this with Desmond Bain, that's not the worst way to go down.
I agree. I agree.
They can make it work. That's why I don't think Memphis would trade Desmond Bain to get Jimmy Butler without the guarantee Butler would stay. But I'm salivating at the idea of a Ja Morant, Jimmy Butler, Desmond Bain, Zach Edey, Jaren Jackson Jr. starting 5. Oh my God. It wouldn't be Zach Edey. It would be Jalen Wells. But just imagine how crazy that team would be. And if you're Memphis, you can kind of afford to do it now.
Yeah, it's a very 80s team to me. Just some bruisers and mid-range jump shots. All right, we will get to our Kings Heat preview on the other side. How do the Kings stack up against the Heat with Jimmy Butler and without? Well, they've lost to him without Jimmy Butler. They did that last season, but it's a different team now, right? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender in the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Fireball.
home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sacktown Sports.
Fireball. 45 more minutes with you. A couple more segments, and we hand you over to the drive guys. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. Oh, Kyle Draper is going to be on one today. Get the parade ready. Kyle Draper is going to be feeling good about the Sacramento Kings, and he should. He should, after what the Kings did to those Golden State Warriors last night in their home on a Sunday. And a lot of, obviously, Warriors, Niners fans, rough day. Although at this point, a lot of Niners fans wanted the Niners to lose to make sure they got that 11th pick in the NFL draft. But rough day out there in the Bay Area. So tough. And now the Kings move on back-to-back. This is, I would say, a back-to-back you would like to take advantage of. Number one, you have to, because you're still trying to crawl out of that hole. But number two, you get an opportunity where you beat the Warriors with no De'Aaron Fox, and now you get to face a Kings team with no Jimmy Butler, which is really in shambles, right? I mean, you can never sleep on the Miami Heat. You lost to the Miami Heat last season at home with no Jimmy Butler and no Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson and the crew, and Jaime Jaquez. They really did a number on you, but this was a different Kings team, and a Kings team that would get complacent, and a Kings team that thought they could just roll the ball out. That's not who the Kings are. That's not who the Kings have been in these last 4 games where they have not lost. Now, the Kings are not going to go 46-0 these next 46 games, but what they're doing right now is making you feel really good about their chances as far as just competing every single night. So let's get to some of these totals, recapping the Jimmy Butler situation. That's kind of what we did in this segment prior, but basically Jimmy Butler, he said he didn't want out. I truly believe he didn't want out, but once the Heat decided not to extend him, that changed things. Once Pat Riley said he didn't like how much Jimmy was talking during the playoffs when he was not playing, I'm paying you $50 million and you're out here with Twitter fingers looking like Meek Mill while we're losing to the Celtics. Pat Riley didn't like that. That's kind of what got the ball rolling, and Jimmy still wanted to make it work. And once Jimmy was injured again and sick again throughout this season, and Jimmy Butler, you just really couldn't depend on when he was going to play. There were question marks about when he did come back just last week, and Jimmy Butler says, I want my joy back. The agent had said that Jimmy wasn't going anywhere, even though there were reports from Shams that Jimmy was interested in, the Suns and the Rockets and the Warriors, teams like that. Jimmy says the whole joy thing. Not too long after that, they request a trade or say they have the intent or they want to be traded. Some semantic word right there.
And then Shams reports it, and then he doesn't want to, and then there's no joy, and then everyone making fun of Jimmy Butler's agent for calling out Shams.
So there you go. So that's where we're at now. Let's take a look at the Heat and their totals and what they look like with and without Jimmy Butler. So with Jimmy Butler, they are 12th in offensive rating, 13th in defensive rating, and 15th in net rating, which isn't great. That's just them, regardless of Jimmy when he does or doesn't play. That's just the season as a whole. The totals without Jimmy Butler specifically: 25th in offensive rating, 18th in defensive rating, and 23rd in net rating. They have a 5-6 record. So that's not good. That's actually very bad.
Yeah, this is not like Memphis, where when Ja Morant goes out, their defensive rating actually doesn't drop off at all, or their offensive rating goes down, but they're still a top 7 offense. No, when Jimmy Butler is not playing, Miami Heat kind of stink, which I was surprised by that much of a drop-off, because in addition to Jimmy Butler's numbers being down this year, he's at the lowest usage rate of his career, or at least his lowest usage rate since he was like very early in Chicago. He's at the lowest usage rate of his career as a star And yet, even when he's not on the floor, you still see that significant drop off of like 4 points of offensive rating. Their defense drops 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of the worst teams in the NBA when he's not on the floor. That was surprising to me, given how he's playing less than ever before. Tyler Hero is putting up great numbers this year. I didn't think they would experience that much of a drop off without Jimmy Butler.
So that's who the Miami Heat are right now, and there's a ton of drama. There's some back and forth with, and then you have Kevin Love, by the way, just making a joke out of
love that.
All of this. Kevin Love is just posting stuff on his social media. I think one was Boys to Men, end of the road. So Kevin Love at this point, Kevin Love just cracks me up that he's even still playing, but he's just kind of enjoying himself. With all that being said, the Heat sit at 17-16, and they are the 6th seed in the East. So they're not even in the play-in right now.
The Miami Heat are still like, if the Kings ever got to the 6th seed this year, it would be like this massive turnaround, and they would be playing better than the Beam Team season after firing Mike Brown. And Miami's in complete shambles. It reminds me of when Kevin Durant a couple of years ago was leaving Brooklyn, and he had the quote here in Sacramento where he was like, "We can't really play with Edmund Sumner starting."
Yeah.
Like, they were still the 4 seed at that point. It was like, oh, wow, the season's a complete dumpster fire. And, oh, yeah, by the way, they'd still be a top seed in the playoffs.
And the Heat actually have the same record as the Bucks. So the Bucks must have that tiebreaker, but they have the same record as the Bucks in the 5 seed. And they have as many losses. They just don't have as many wins. They have the same amount of losses as the Magic in the 4 seed.
That's so funny.
They all have 16 losses. And then you have the great shift at the 3 seed with the Knicks at 24-12, Celtics at 24-10 or 26-10, and the Cavs at 31-4. So the Heat could easily grasp the 4 seed or the 5 seed or say in the 6 seed, but the Heat are probably going to avoid the playoffs. So I would say if I'm the Heat, this Jimmy Butler thing, you would think gets handled because of that. This Jimmy Butler thing probably gets handled quicker than you think because they still have a chance to make some moves.
I don't even think that's true necessarily. I will say this. Jimmy Butler is never going to play another game for the Miami Heat.
No.
That I feel confident. You don't go to the 7-game suspension and take away the key card if you intend on him ever playing again for your team.
No.
Whether he gets traded or not, I don't know. I genuinely don't know because Miami would have botched this whole thing if they trade him now once they just had to have misread the room. And in a way, like, I know this is kind of crazy, but Shams knew better than Pat Riley did the state of his locker room.
Yeah.
That seems to kind of be the result of this. It's as I know it sounds weird, but that's the only way. Because if the end result was trade him, they should have done it this offseason.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, it's better to not compound on a mistake. You made a mistake and you try to make it right as quickly as possible. I mean, this is no time, and I know maybe Pat Riley isn't the best person for this, but this is no time for pride, right? It is what it is. It didn't work out. I don't necessarily know why they didn't move him. If they weren't going to extend him, that just never really made a ton of sense to me. But ultimately, they still got games to play. They're on the West Coast, and they can't stack up these losses either. So that's where they're at.
I don't think I'll say it didn't work out. I think the end is kind of terrible, but like, correct me if I'm wrong. The 6 years Jimmy Butler was with the Miami Heat would be better than any run the Sacramento Kings have ever had.
No, I'm just saying specifically the decision during this offseason.
Oh, the decision for this season.
Yes, for this season, after all the drama with Pat Riley, and when he didn't play in the playoffs, that should have been it. That should have been it. They're not on the same page. You clearly don't want to pay him. You don't want to extend him. So that should have been the end of it, and it wasn't. And now it's all right. We messed that up, but we can still figure things out. Let's talk about the injury report as we know it to be right now when we return. Also, a couple NFL coaches waking up with no jobs. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Tonight, Kings and Heat. King Night with Scott Marsh and the High Flyer Henry Turner starts at 5:30. Tip-off at 7. Your exclusive home for the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the San Francisco 49ers.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center for your Monday, spotlighting sunshine, light north winds, and highs today peaking in the upper 50s to low 60s. Overnight, expect to have some breezy conditions and temperatures dropping back to the upper 30s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers Game Day by securing your 2025 season tickets now. Inventory is limited, so speak with a representative. Dial 415-GO-NINERS and reserve your seats. That's 415-GO-NINERS.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I've had my all-electric SUV for a little more than a year, and I continue to love it day after day. In fact, me and my daughter, we were just on vacation not too long ago, and we rented a car while we were on the trip, and my daughter said, Dad, I like your car better. I turned to her and said, honey, you know what? I like it better as well, and I couldn't wait to get back home to my Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. You know, at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, they are more than just a dealership. They're a partner you can trust throughout the entire ownership of your luxury vehicle. Whether it's a refined C-Class or a versatile SUV lineup, your perfect Mercedes-Benz is there waiting for you. Plus, right now, you can enjoy 3.24% APR for up to 72 months on certified pre-owned models on approved credit. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is your trusted partner in luxury and reliability. And they've been doing it for more than 30 years. So head on down right now to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 16th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Don't miss more than 100 free fishing, hunting, casting, kayaking, and dog training seminars. On the weekend, take the kids to a building filled with free activities. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 16th through 19th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally, $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at the AEWay.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $38.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
Happy New Year! Coach Christie here letting you know it's never been easier to drive into the new year in a new Kia. Take advantage of special low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit right now at Folsom Lake Kia.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sacktown Sports.
Plenty of Kings to get to today after that shellacking against the Golden State Warriors, but make no mistake about it. I mean, I'm seeing this video here of Bijan Robinson on the verge of tears from not making the playoffs. I mean, the Atlanta situation, probably one of the most ridiculous situations I think we've ever seen.
Which one are you basing that off of? The quarterback situation?
From paying Kirk Cousins to benching Kirk Cousins in the midst of a playoff run to then missing the playoffs. I mean, what a complete disaster.
I could have been worse. I'm going to be honest. Based on Atlanta Falcons disasters, an 8-9 season at the end of all of that, it certainly could have been worse. The NFC South is, I think, I've made a joke for years. The AFC South is just a pyramid scheme to steal hundreds of millions of dollars from television networks. The NFC South is getting real close because I saw a stat that was like the Bucks and the Steelers have the same record over the last 4 seasons. Then the Steelers have played 0 home playoff games, and the Bucks are about to play their 5th home playoff game in the last 4 years. It's
ridiculous.
So crazy. It's so crazy how bad the NFC South is. But hey, Bryce Young threw a Steph Curry turnaround touchdown yesterday.
That's right. Speaking of Steph Curry, this just came out from Brett Siegel. And just because the Kings, they took care of business last night, we're about to get into this injury report for the Kings and Heat. Obviously, a lot can still change before game time. But Brett Siegel, for Clutch Points, he puts out this article. And how he writes it is, sources, the Warriors are keeping an eye on Cam Johnson trade talks between the Pacers and Nets due to Aaron Nesmith's possible involvement. So Warriors fans are losing their minds because not Cam Johnson, not Jimmy, the Warriors are targeting Aaron Nesmith.
You're damn right.
On the Indiana Pacers. So again, they have no clue what they want to do. I mean, we've asked similar questions with the Kings, but yeah, the idea of wanting to keep everything, it's very fan-ish. You want to keep everything and just get better. And the Warriors, they don't want to move Wiggins, they don't want to move Kuminga. And I don't even know what their pick situation is looking like. But so they're in on guys like Aaron Nesmith.
That's funny to me just because Buddy Hield was supposed to be Aaron Nesmith was supposed to replace Buddy Hield in Indiana.
Yeah.
And now the Warriors are saying Aaron Nesmith should replace Buddy Hield in Golden State, which is hilarious. I do want to bring this back to the Kings real quick while we're on the topic, because part of that story from Siegel is detailing what Indiana's trade package looks like. And I kind of want to stack theirs up against the Kings, right? So the Kings were looking at the Herter, Lyles, and picks package, most likely. Let's take Devin Carter off the table for now. How does that stack up versus Indiana's Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, 1 unprotected first-round pick, and other draft assets?
I'm probably taking the Pacers. Without Devin Carter?
Without Devin Carter.
I feel like I'm taking the Pacers, right?
Okay. I just wanted to comparison shop on that, because Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, basically the same as Kevin Herter and Trey Lyles, right?
Aaron Nesmith's definitely younger than
Obi Toppin's younger than Trey Lyles, but it's like Obi Toppin's a free agent at the end of the season.
It's slightly better.
Sure.
It's slightly better.
So then you're looking at Indiana's first round picks. I guess Indiana expects to be in the playoffs every year, especially in the East.
Yes.
So I guess the Kings asking prices, we're starting at a first round pick. And then if we go from there, I mean, yeah, Indiana, if Indiana's got a better trade package, imagine if Oklahoma City actually tries to make it happen.
And that's what we're trying to figure out. But as far as the game tonight, we're still waiting to get some updates here, but we know Jimmy Butler's out. Josh Richardson for the Heat is doubtful. Haywood Highsmith is questionable. And De'Aaron Fox is doubtful. But Kyle, you had this sound from from Doug about preparing to play the Miami Heat today off a back-to-back?
Doug, you have Miami obviously tomorrow, and then go on the road for Boston. What are you doing to prepare for Boston? Obviously, you have Miami before them, but these two teams coming up. What's kind of the message and the preparation for those?
Man, you realize I just got this job, right? Yeah, man, I ain't thought that far ahead. I hadn't got past today. I do know that we got Miami tomorrow. I do know that. And I played against Eric in college. He was a heck of a player, and now as a coach, he's about as good as it gets. So I know one thing: they play extremely hard, and they will be prepared. And that's what I expect. We're going to play extremely hard, and we will be prepared.
There you go.
His preparation was I played against Eric Spoelstra in college.
Hey, we're gonna figure it out. I mean, these back-to-back, and obviously he's probably playing a little coy there with what the assistant coaches can help out with. But I mean, honestly, you throw this type of stuff out, and I feel like the Heat, because they always have so many moving parts, it actually helps them in a way, because you know what to prepare for against the Boston Celtics. You know what to prepare for against the Golden State Warriors. The Miami Heat, you just really don't know. Okay, there's no Jimmy today. Is Tyler Hero playing? Is it a Bam Adebayo show? Is it the Tyler Hero show? Is Duncan Robinson still on the team? Who's this random guy? Is Terry Rozier going to turn back the clock? So is Jaime Jaquez gonna go crazy? You just never really know what the Heat are going to bring to the table. Besides, to be fair, what Coach Doug Christie said, they're going to play hard and they're going to be prepared. So I think on the other side, the Heat are are preparing against a new version of the Kings team. Same names, but just different way that they're approaching things. I'm looking at whether or not De'Aaron Fox plays. And again, if I had any say, I wouldn't play De'Aaron Fox today. Jimmy Butler. I know every game matters, but you're about to get on a plane and do a 3-game set on the East Coast. I would let De'Aaron continue to rest. We'll see what ends up happening there. I know that they need these games, and De'Aaron really doesn't like sitting. So we'll see what happens there. But you're missing some guys. That Josh Richardson, I believe he's killed the Kings before. A Haywood Highsmith.
Oh, there's one Kings killer I forgot was on the Heat until I just looked up. By the way, the Heat lost their last game by 36 points at home against the Jazz.
I don't like that either. Against the Jazz?
Against the Jazz.
I don't like this.
They lost by 36 points at home against the Jazz. Bam Adebayo played 26 minutes and had 4 points.
I don't like this at all.
But anyways, the one I forgot is Alec Burks. Alec Burks, just absolute. Last year when he was on the Pistons, I remember making this joke with Jason Ross where it's like, I don't know. He's like, Alec Burks could go for 40. And I was like, Alec Burks has literally never gone for 40 in a game. And he had 20 at halftime for the Pistons. I was like, Jesus. How is this? Anyways, Alec Burks petrified. Gonna have a giant game against the Kings tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, it shouldn't be tough, but if you don't have De'Aaron Fox, let's not let last night fool us. Any game where you're missing your top 25, top 30 player in the league is going to be tough, especially against the one team that could overcome missing their best player, and that's the Miami Heat. This is where Eric Spoelstra cooks. Now, he didn't cook last game against the Jazz as they got their doors blown off, but now you have your next game. Some dust has settled a little bit. I don't like this for the Kings at all, but this is, there's just a little PTSD there where there is a little bit of us remembering how the Kings have been, but I want to feel good about it. Look, I mean, I think straight up, you look at on paper, if the Kings don't have De'Aaron Fox, they could easily lose this game to the Miami Heat and not necessarily play poorly. The Heat could play well.
They have lost worse games.
Yes, by far.
They have lost worse games.
By far, but you don't have Jimmy Butler and you are playing well right now. You've dug yourself this hole. I would say that on the desperate meter, I think the Kings should feel a little bit more desperate than the Heat. The Heat are kind of now in that dead man walking stage that the Kings were in before they moved off of Mike Brown, because it's something's going to happen. We don't know what. That's where the Heat are right now. Something's going to happen. We don't know what. We're just kind of playing without Jimmy, even though he's on the team. So we'll see what happens there. We have one more segment with you. Prop Talk, dog segment, and our predictions. Oh, you can't wait till you see this line. Based on this line, it seems like De'Aaron Fox won't be playing. Does Vegas know something? They typically do. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Intercepted by Fred Warner.
Faithful to the Bay.
Fred gets up and runs back the other way, 30.
Don't miss the excitement of 49ers game day. Secure your spot at Levi's Stadium for the 2025 season.
20, one block and he's in.
Season tickets are available now. Inventory is limited, so to speak with a representative, call 415-GO-49ers.
Touchdown!
That's 415-GO-49ers.
San Francisco!
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with an adjustable base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
You've heard the saying, penny wise, pound foolish, right? It means you do something that will save you a little bit right now, just pennies, but that ends up costing you pounds in the end.
People put off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time or spend the money to get it done.
But it only takes 90 minutes and costs just $87, which is just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up.
You'll also save money on your energy bills, and your system will last longer.
So don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Call Bell Brothers for a precision tune-up and professional cleaning today.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Listen for the Toyota Tahoe Report every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with Johnny Mosley to get the latest weather conditions in Tahoe throughout this snow season. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sacktown Sports.
15 more minutes with you, then we will hand you off to the Drive Guys. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Folsom Mike, you never know when people are hopping in as we're about to do Prop Talk Dogs and predictions. Let's get your dogs in now. Who will go off for the Kings tonight? Who will be your dog? Was going to read this Folsom Mike text, but we have some De'Aaron Fox news. Can I guess?
Yes, go for it.
They listen to the show. They understand. You got to go to Boston on Friday. De'Aaron Fox is out.
De'Aaron Fox is out with a right glute contusion tonight. This is according to pick your favorite Sacramento Kings insider. I believe they just released an injury report. De'Aaron Fox out, right glute contusion.
There you go. So that has just been released. No De'Aaron Fox tonight. So more Malik Monk. Will he stay hot? The Kings are hoping to stay hot as we lead right into our Prop Talk. By the way, before we get into Prop Talk, I've been meaning to bring this up, but the show went very, very fast. The 209. Styles, what's the verdict on the LiAngelo Ball song, Certified Banger or Nah? So I don't know I know they have a podcast, but basically the middle Ball brother, LiAngelo Ball, his song got leaked. They almost put it out as a joke. And it sounds like something very close to My Heart as a Millennial from 2002, 2003. It sounds like a Nelly Saint Lunatic song. And this is how things happen nowadays. It's now being played everywhere in NFL locker rooms and NBA locker rooms. And now LiAngelo Ball will probably be a very famous rapper, a very good rapper. I don't know if good is the right term, but he's going to be successful because that's how things work. So 209, as far as whether I like it or not, it reminds me of Nelly. It reminds me of the 2002, 2003. I feel like I've heard the song before, but it goes kind of hard. So that I don't think there's an edited version out yet, 209, but we will get that one once it does. I think it drops this weekend.
I'm pretty sure I told you before this story that when I was a 14 or 15-year-old, whatever, when Lonzo was at UCLA, would have sworn to you Lonzo Ball was going to be a great rapper.
There you go.
He dropped one single, and I was like...
Lonzo did.
Lonzo.
So now his brother is the one who's going to make it.
Now Jello is trying to make it because he refuses to give up his dream. I think he's in the G League somewhere.
Yeah, well, he refuses to go overseas.
Yes.
And look, I've always said if I had a brother in the league or a sister, I know I got pride, but just make me your agent or just put me on your team. I'm not going to be out here scrapping in the G League just because of my pride.
I also think he just had a child too.
Yes, I think he might have number 2 on the way.
Maybe. I know. I just remember.
He definitely has one.
Yeah, because that's how I saw LeVar pop up again. He had this little tiny baby. It was like, get ready, this kid's going to the league.
Here we go.
That's when I saw LeVar pop up.
So
again.
we'll play that. We'll play that once we can get the edited version 209. So funny stuff there. But yeah, that's how it happens. He's going to take over 2025, and he's got 2 brothers that are going to keep riding for him. All right, let's try to ride the hot hand here with a little bit of prop talk. Kyle, who do you have? Who are you taking with this news of De'Aaron not playing? Who are you riding tonight for prop talk?
See, these numbers are so hard when trying to find Sacramento overs. And I know sometimes we pick other team overs and unders, but I know Jimmy Butler's not there, but the Miami Heat made 3 runs to the Eastern Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals on just the most muck it up 102 to 100 basketball that you've ever seen. And so it's hard for me to compartmentalize Miami running these games into the muck with Sacramento's high scoring offense. But the Malik Monk point, rebound, assist combination total was I think 30 was the number.
30.
So 30 seems reasonable. He's hit that each of the last 2 games. He's going to be starting again. Keon's starting at the point. Playmaker extraordinaire Malik Monk's got to have 30 in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is Malik has been really hot lately.
Yeah, we know how that story goes.
Yeah, he's been really hot, so he either stays hot or he cools off, but I love the call there. I'm not, to your point, I don't really feel good about any of these in a game like this. I'm just going to play the numbers and say that DeMar DeRozan scored 29 points 2 games ago. Then he scored 12 last night. So I just feel like DeMar DeRozan at 20 points makes sense. If I'm going to lose, at least I'm going to lose on something that I makes sense. I don't want to lose on trying to be too cute with Keon's at 9.5. I like that. But if I'm gonna put it out there, I'm just gonna go for, I know it's higher volume, but I think that after last night, DeMar kind of got to chill a little bit. I think that give me DeMar over 20 points.
I kind of agree with you in that sense. I think that was a good pick. I would say this. Somebody is going to have to score 25 points tonight. I'm talking about both teams. Just like mathematically, someone is going to have to score 25 points. And you could tell me it could be 12 different players, and I would believe you. You could tell me that Jaime Jaquez or Keegan Murray would score 25 points. I'd be like, yes, that is totally possible. Because someone has to. It's like, I have no idea who's going to score the points tonight.
By the way, Keegan Murray, if you want to ride his hot hand, he's set at 12.5 points, had 11 last night. Keegan's a tough one for me right now, but I would understand why you would do it.
Yeah, and the Sabonis versus Bam Adebayo matchup is interesting because they've gone head-to-head a few times, and it's always been Bam guards Sabonis really well. But then Bam doesn't score on the other end, which, I get it. That's kind of the Bam Adebayo story. But especially against Sabonis, like they just both are bruising style.
Kind of canceling each other out a little bit.
Yeah, in a way. And Bam Adebayo, I love the joke when Bam Adebayo, when the going gets tough, he pulls up from 12 feet. So we'll see if there's some of those tonight. But again, Bam played 26 minutes against the Jazz and scored 4 points.
So with De'Aaron Fox out and Jimmy Butler out, this is from 5 hours ago, but I would assume that, like I said, everywhere kind of knew that De'Aaron most likely wasn't going to play. So the Kings, I'm seeing the Kings at 2.5. I also saw 3 hours ago. I'm seeing the Kings at 2.5. I'm seeing the Kings at 3.5. I really can't call it. The only reason I'm worried is simply because of how well they played last night. If there was even a night to breathe, I'd feel better about it, but the fact that you're literally turning around, the vibes are so right, they're either going to keep it rolling and just steamroll the Heat, or this thing is going to get mucky, and we know the Heat can win without Jimmy in Sacramento. They did it last season without Tyler Hero as well. So I'm going to go... They're not scoring as much as they scored last night. I'm going to say I think they do cover the 2.5. I'm going to say Kings win 111 to 105.
And this is just nothing against the Kings. The Kings have had their best weekend of offense in damn near 2 years. It's just I've watched so many Miami games where even the best offenses in the NBA, it's 102 to 100.
Yeah.
It's 103 to 100. That's just every Miami Heat game. And again, I know they don't have Jimmy Butler, but it's just Miami just mucks it up, gets to the free throw line, holds time of possession. They ranked like 28th in offense the year they went to the finals. It's just, I don't know how they do it. So yeah, I'm going to go like 103, 105. Something like that.
Yeah, I'd probably stay away. It's just too much of a trap game. I will say this though, if the Kings come out and are able to stay hot, the Heat won't lay down. But if they come out in the first quarter and they show that they're going to keep this thing rolling, you might get a Heat team that's just dealing with a lot. So I think it's very important, as it always is, but even more so tonight, to hit the Heat early. The Heat are starting a back-to-back. It's like every team has to deal with back-to-backs at different times. So the Heat now, they have their back-to-back on the road where they have the Kings tonight and they have the Warriors tomorrow night. I still think, just with Steph Curry being Steph Curry, the Heat might be looking ahead of the Kings a little bit, and the Kings can take care of business. But you ain't looking ahead of everyone when you lose to the Jazz by 36. Last but not least, dog segment.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Getting your dogs in. Kyle, tonight for my dog. We've gone Keon Ellis before. We've gone with other guys. I'm going to say that his hand does stay hot. I'm not touching him for prop talk, but I think that Keegan Murray, something in his eyes last night. Something in his eyes last night, the confidence that he was shooting with, I do think Keegan Murray has a big game.
I was kind of the direction I was leaning to. You know how much I love me some Keegan, but yeah, I don't even know who he's going to match up against defensively tonight. Are they going to put him on Hero? Or are they going to put him on, I don't know, Jaquez? Like, this is I know Keegan's a great defensive player in guarding their best players, but this might be a light work defensive night for Keegan, relatively speaking.
Yeah, that's true. It really, I'm looking here at who the Heat started in that beat down. The Heat started Jovic, Highsmith, who's questionable, Bam, Tyler Hero, and Terry Rozier. So if Haywood can't go, maybe Jaime Jaquez starts. So we'll see what happens there. Seeing some dogs come in. Sabonis going to be my dog, going to take care of DeMontis Sabonis, or going to take care of Bam Adebayo. That's from the 209. Also the 916, Keon Ellis, my dog. And from the 530, Devin Carter is going to be my dog. More rebounds, more threes. Thank you for listening to the Allen Stiles Show. Thank you to Kyle. Great job as always. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters. The Drive guys are up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Until tomorrow, secure the bag like the beam.
Gotta go. Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line, golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour.